We are live again for another true crime reaction. While I do my makeup before I play video games. And so yeah, I have a long face today because I lost my job. So is this shit? Oh my god, my top is yeah, it's wrong side. Anyway, um, yeah. So I need to occupy myself, and so I can stop thinking about how miserable my life is. And what's less miserable than watching other people's misery while I do my makeup before playing video games? So again, this is mostly for my YouTube channel. Those do better on my channel there. Let's watch true crime stories while I do my makeup and distract myself other people's drama. Let's go.
Have you ever heard of the Russian sleep experiment? It's a fake fictional story. It's a creepypasta where 5 subjects, they're prisoners of war. They're given the option. You can take part in our sleep study where you will be awake for 30 full days. You don't get an inkling
Can't
of
do
sleep
that.
for 30 days, a month. And if you survive, if you make it to the end, you can be free. We're not going to hold you prisoner anymore. You can walk out of here and nobody is going to hurt you. It's a singular month in exchange for the rest of your life. Why would you not take it?
I mean,
The
they're war prisoner.
experimenters, the researchers, they developed this special gas that's going to prevent the subjects from falling asleep. And the first 5 days, everything goes well. They hardly complain. They're like, this is the best thing ever. We're going to be free in 25 days. After the first 5 days,
Bruh.
the subjects start exhibiting severe paranoia. They stop talking to each other. They're only companions in the entire study. They turn on each other. They start whispering into the microphones for the researchers. They believe if they turn on their fellow subjects, they can win the trust of the experimenters that are testing on them and guarantee their freedom. 9 days in, one of the subjects does not stop screaming for 3 hours straight. He is screaming until he tears his vocal cords. And long story short, by the halfway mark, all of the windows that the experimenters are looking into, they're covered in feces. They tell the
Ew.
subjects on the intercom, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphone. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." They just hear a singular voice call back out to them, "We no longer want to be freed." By the end of it, the researchers go in and they got to get the subjects out. They find once they open the door, the subjects have started tearing off their own flesh, consuming it. The researchers are providing the medical care that's needed to save them, but in the end, the subjects, they all want to go back into that chamber. They all want more of that stimulant gas.
Oh.
The same thing that ruined them, turned them into these violent zombie-like creatures. They want that gas. They don't want to sleep. So the experimenters ask, "Why would you possibly want something that destroyed you?" They say, "Well, I must remain awake."
For what?
It's an addicting idea, the theory, the concept of what happens to humans if they don't sleep. There are content creators that have been trying to replicate that feeling.
Yep.
TikTok Live being one of the platforms.
Really?
It's called Disturbed Sleep Live Streams. This is
Oh.
a niche of TikTok Live
Yeah,
streams.
yeah, I heard
A
about
camera
that.
is set up and it's live streaming a tiny little bunker-esque room with a tiny bed. There are neon lights typically everywhere. It's not the type of environment that you're gonna catch some good quality sleep. You have the live streamer on the bed, and then there's this board behind them. And this live streamer, I mean, their eyes are closed, they're acting like nobody else is in the room with them. It feels oddly voyeuristic and illegal. The board usually says, for this donation, this will happen. So for example, for a Galaxy donation, a giant air balloon puppet, the ones you see in front of the car dealerships, will blow up, fill up the room, and start singing Baby Shark loudly at full volume. The concept is very simple. You donate money to watch the live streamer get woken up over and over again, not being allowed to fall asleep, never getting the sleep that they desperately claim that they want.
Are they sleeping or are they
They're
sitting?
trying.
They're sleeping. They're laying down, eyes closed.
So how did that balloon pop up?
Once you donate, it's all automated.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if someone is there helping.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, and they make money. You get your own little Russian sleep experiment. You get to torture these live streamers, and humanity becomes less appealing for aliens to save. This is the TikTok live streaming world. it is like an internet's no man's land. I mean, sometimes it's fine. Like, sometimes you get those packaging videos or like the crystal scoops or the live harvesting pearls from oysters. I don't know how good that
Where the
is,
fuck is
but
my
you get
brush?
those. Other times you go on there and it just progressively gets weirder.
It
There are
does.
people pretending to be robots saying, if you donate X amount, I will slap myself in the face. There's this one guy who's on live. He makes these card houses, like, you know, you stack the cards, and he just starts crying, begging viewers not to donate, which is confusing. And of course, reverse psychologies everyone into donating because they want to know what's going to happen if they donate. And he's just sobbing like someone is holding him at gunpoint. Some people sit there and they tell you the fate of the rest of your life for a small Galaxy donation of $9. I mean, it is the place to breed insanity.
Bruh.
And as of recently, a woman named Ash Trevino becomes one of the more perverse additions to TikTok Live. Ash Trevino is a 36-year-old woman from Texas who is very clearly doing well for herself on these TikTok live streams. She claims that the most that she's ever made in a single live stream, one sitting there for 2.5 hours, she received $12,000 in donations. $12,000. And her content is not even that stimulating. Like, if you're swiping through TikTok Live, you see a man sleeping next to a giant air balloon puppet, you see a man crying on live, these are gonna capture your attention. She just sits there at her makeup desk on the phone talking to her boyfriend. And you're just listening to them talk. You listen to
Oh, he's in
like a little
jail?
fly on the wall. I mean, one of her many boyfriends. One of them is named Francisco. And the live stream is set up to face her. She's got him on speakerphone on a separate phone, and she's all giggly. She's like a little girl in love. She's 36 though, so I guess a woman in love. She puts the phone up to the live stream.
2.3K people watching you right now.
Francisco, you just hear his voice. He says, I'm just saying, I'm not going to share advice. Like, if you want to take the time of your day to actually get to know me.
You want to take the time of your day to actually get to know me.
No, I don't need them to like you. I don't need them to like you, sir.
Oh my God.
Guys, he's innocent, and I don't care what y'all say, what y'all think. He's innocent, and y'all are gonna see that. And when he becomes,
What they're commenting?
and yeah, they were like, "Oh, he's not innocent. He's dumb. This and that." Oh, they said he's innocent, but he's in jail. Oh my God, they said, honestly, rip to those who lost their lives.
And her viewers, Ash Trevino's viewers, they start turning on her, asking her, why would any of this be funny? Why is this funny to you? Why are you laughing?
Yeah.
And she responds angrily. Why is it funny? Because you guys are sitting there posting it on my stuff. That's why it's funny. Because y'all are making it seem like some man is guilty of that when he has nothing to do with that. So that's why it's so funny. Because y'all are blaming somebody that's innocent. Like, y'all don't even know the whole freaking story, bro. Y'all see what y'all hear and what y'all read, and it's not even the truth. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Which has people begging the question, what did he do? What is he innocent of? March 28th, 2018, 9:30 p.m. The King County Sheriffs are called to this apartment complex. It's a big apartment complex. It's one of those where you have multiple different units, multiple different buildings.
I like that part. Trust the process.
The police, they know why they're called to the apartment, but even when they get there physically, it's like every single resident came out of their unit and now they're just running. They're scrambling. People are running every which way. The entire apartment complex feels like all hell has broken loose. The police go straight to the place where everybody is running away from. They go straight there. They're going in the opposite direction. They get to the side of the apartment complex, and on the pavement, they find two bodies laying there soaked in blood. Two teenage girls, 13-year-old Elizabeth Juarez and 19-year-old Eviana Cortez. And now the question that police have is, why would anybody want to kill two teenage girls? Especially one that's 13. This doesn't even make any sense. What kind of people have it out for them? In 13-year-old Elizabeth's bag, they find a black can of spray paint. And above her body, they see all of this graffiti. They're called like gang tags. You mark your territory, essentially street gangs will, by graffitiing their symbols, their names, their street names, their gang names, their acronyms. And it has been reported that Elizabeth, 13-year-old Elizabeth, was part of the South Side Locos. It's a street
13.
gang. And I say was a part of very loosely because she's 13. I barely knew what I was doing at 13.
Yeah.
The last thing that I had the mental capacity to do is pledge my loyalty and life to a gang. But apparently, she had seen that a rival from an opposing gang, their rival street gang, was moving into their apartment complex. And prior to moving in, they had come in and graffitied their name, ULK, all over the apartment complex. So
But
as
she's
the rival
like,
gang member,
the
she
baby.
goes and she just starts crossing it out. She crosses out their acronyms, crosses out their names, and that is perceived to be a direct threat. Somebody sees her doing this. Now you're gonna think, if you see a little 13-year-old girl graffitiing on the side of the wall, even if you're a part of the opposing gang, I don't know, aren't there codes of conduct? Don't
Let
harm
it go.
children. Would you not just think to yourself, what has this 13-year-old gotten into
Bro, I
joining a
can't find my
gang? But no, she is shot and killed.
Bruh.
Along with her, Eviana Cortez, who just happened to be there that day. She had nothing to do with the graffiti. Elizabeth is shot in the back of the head and the back of the left thigh. Eviana is shot 4 times to her stomach, leg, and left ear. They are both pronounced dead at the hospital.
What is crazy?
So he lives there?
Oh,
And
there
he
you
just
go.
walked out and opened fire?
In a car. Yeah.
Wow.
That is Francisco, and that is what he is in jail for. This is the person that TikToker, if you can even call her that, viral train wreck, Ash Trevino, is dating and is live streaming, talking to on the phone while he's in prison for these crimes.
Man?
They said RIP to the people who lost their lives, and she's cackling. She claims that he's innocent, but is he really? 19 shell casings were found at the crime scene, and Francisco's DNA was found on those shell casings. In Francisco's apartment, they find a revolver, a 9mm magazine matching the shell casings left at the crime scene. They find a laser sight for a handgun to help aim. They find loose ammo as well as writing that confirmed Francisco's gang affiliation. They find messages and photos referencing the double homicide on his phone. In one video that Francisco takes, he is at the memorial for both of his victims. This is days after the murder, allegedly saying, "Man, shows you the repercussions when you f with a G-man. You already know what it is. ULK, his gang name." It is believed that he sent this video to fellow gang members on Snapchat. They also found messages from another gang member to Francisco, sending a picture of Elizabeth with the words RIP little one, to which Francisco's account responds, "That bitch." 13-year-old. But another aspect to this case that makes people feel like, yeah, sure, but he's definitely guilty. He's got quite a list of crimes that he's been convicted for aside from the double homicide. Tampering with evidence. He tried to intimidate a minor to take the fall for a gun that was found in his car. He has 2 convictions for assault, one of which took place in the jail. The reason that he assaulted a fellow inmate is apparently a guy walks into the unit. Turns out he's part of the rival gang, and without any provocation, Francisco takes off his jail slippers and just starts jumping on this man, punching, kicking him, throwing him onto the ground out of nowhere. Aside from that, the 4 assault cases, the witness tampering case, Francisco is already in prison for another murder that he has been convicted of another rival gang member.
So he murdered 3 people?
Yes. He is connected to 3 separate murders, 4 assault cases, 1 case of tampering with a witness. The prosecutors wrote this about him. Given the defendant's brutal course of conduct and disregard for human life, the defendant clearly presents a substantial likelihood of danger to the entire community. He is in prison. But somehow, that is exactly what TikToker Ash Trevino wants in a romantic partner. She likes to date men in prison that are accused of doing heinous things and documents all of this on her TikTok live streams. Netizens are getting involved in real time to try and call the authorities to get her children taken away from her and her prison boyfriends. They want to save her kids from her. Her being Ash Trevino, the now infamous inmate hopper.
Inmate hopper is crazy.
We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. They are a volunteer-based and provide free medical care and humanitarian aid to thousands of injured, abused, and abandoned children. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team. We'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support as we work on our mission to be worthy advocates. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. A few disclaimers for today's case. There are heavy mentions of DV, SA, potential CA, or potential neglect. I also want to make it very clear that the two minor daughters involved have already been through a lot publicly. We're going to be doing everything in our power to keep them anonymous and, of course, use just initials regardless of if their info is already all the way out there. It's also important to note that all the allegations regarding the Trevino family, especially Ash Trevino, are claims that Ashley herself has publicly admitted to or done on camera. Though at the time of filming, no charges have been made or pressed against Ash Trevino. The only quote-unquote guilty parties would be the people mentioned who are previously incarcerated. Any and all opinions, commentary, and theories are netizen-based and not personal. We're just trying to report on all online sentiment and aspects surrounding this case. I will have to say that I embarked on this brain-rotting journey that is Ash Trevino's lore, believing that it was going to be an episode for my other podcast, Moral of the Story, which I'm going to link below. A lot of you guys have been messaging me that it's the perfect cleanser, if you will, almost for mental health after some of these recent RM cases. But the more that I started jumping into the rabbit holes of court documents of her boyfriends, two things occurred. I believe that she is a danger to her children and perhaps even society. And two, I feel like she has laid eggs in my brain. I feel like my IQ has dropped at least 10 points after listening to her live streams. So with that being said, let's get started. In the past few weeks, the internet has collectively band together to get a CPS case opened on a TikToker named Ash Trevino. Ash Trevino is, I want to say she is constantly live streaming. It's like being a CCTV camera.
And she's making money.
Just a wall camera, a fly on the wall.
How old are her kids?
She is 36. She has two daughters that are 16 and 13. And she believes that the internet is unjustly trying to get them taken away from her. Ashley addresses this in a live stream saying,
"Y'all are really trying to get my kids taken from me, and it's not going to happen. Do you know how many CPS cases I've had on me in the last 4 months?
Girl?
And I still have custody of my kids? Like, you do understand when you call CPS, you have to have actual proof that they're in an unfit condition, right? You do understand that, right? For those of y'all that love to call CPS on me, y'all do understand. You have to have proof that my kids are in harm's way, my kids are this, my kids are that, y'all really have to have proof."
So here is the list of proof that netizens have gathered against Ash Trevino.
Did she just brag about she had 20 cases on her?
And nothing
20?
happened.
I heard 4.
That's
What?
her biggest flex, biggest accomplishment, is evading CPS, falling through the cracks of CPS. In the state of Texas, one of the main things CPS workers are looking for is kitchen and food availability. The guidelines are along the lines of kitchen should have healthy, readily available food. CPS looks for balanced food options like fruits, vegetables, dairy, and proteins to ensure proper child nutrition, which some netizens are pointing out that it seems like the entirety of the food consumption that Ash eats. I mean, there are fitness gurus who have done 40-minute videos on Ash Trevino's diet, just critiquing the way she eats. Her main consumption is hot Cheeto and bean dip.
Bean dip, because I'm the bean dip queen.
Ashley does these massive grocery hauls that netizens have been dubbing the Red 40 haul, Red 40 after the chemical coloring, because she will spend nearly $800 at the grocery store and just come home with different variations of hot Cheetos and sour candies, which I will say, not having access to healthy produce or fresh food is a big problem, especially in the state of this economy. And I don't think that netizens should dictate what other people eat or don't eat. But a few things. Ashley is a mother, and it's typically a natural want for parents to want to feed their kids fresh, healthy meals that are nutritious. But if she does not have the financial resources, that's one thing. But she does $700, $800 on chips and snacks during these grocery hauls. There is not a fresh leaf in sight.
$700? Like,
and she lets
100 bags of chips?
Yeah, she'll read you the whole receipt. She'll show you the receipt. She loves showing people how much money she spends.
$738.
Which naturally angers a lot of netizens. A lot of netizens feel like if I had $800 to
spend on groceries
in a single trip, I would get my kids everything fresh and nutritious. I would get them so many eggs.
Bitch, that's more than my rent.
Her kids are talking about how they want Ashley to make food for them tomorrow. And she's shocked. She's genuinely shocked on the live stream.
Oh, y'all want me to cook tomorrow?
Both of y'all. She gives both of her kids a death glare. Like, they have asked her to sacrifice her life for a bag of tennis balls. Netizens point out they have never seen her daughters eat a home-cooked meal, ever. And they suspect that her 2 kids are probably suffering from a lack of nutrition. She also eats chips in a very interesting way, or at least a few times she has. She gets the chips in her hand, and she throws it back like she's taking a shot. And one comment reads, "She's eating chips like she's taking a damn vitamin, and it's taking me out." Yeah, but I guess one could argue, I mean, at least her kids are being fed, right? I guess. The next thing CPS looks for are appropriate sleeping arrangements. This is a big one. Infants need safe cribs, free of blankets and toys. Opposite children over 6 years old should typically have separate rooms, and bunk beds must have safety railings for younger children. When Ash is doing a live stream, she's showing off her apartment. She does a quick peek into her daughter's room. They share a room, 16 and 13, and netizens are very quick to point out, wait, is that a singular air mattress on the floor for both the girls to sleep in? Just a singular air mattress.
There's no way you spend $800 on groceries and you can't have like better sleeping arrangement for your fucking kids. Goddamn, man. Do better. Holy shit.
Her daughters to share. When netizens start pointing that out, Ashley states that they're not staying with her, implying it's fine because they're only here once in a while. They're staying with her parents. And again, not being able to afford proper furniture for children is not something that parents should be ashamed of. It's very difficult to provide the necessities these days. But Ashley should be ashamed. She gives her daughters an air mattress, not because of her lack of funds. It is her gross misappropriation of those funds. It's estimated that on her live streams and gifts donations alone, she brings in around $1,000 to $2,000 in a singular day. $1,000 to $2,000 a day. She says the most she
I need to start live streaming the fuck.
hours was $12,000. She's constantly on TikTok lives doing these hauls. She shows off her new shoes. She's unboxing it. They're slippers. They're house slippers. And she says, "These are not Temu. Trust me, I wish they were." And she opens up her Balenciaga slipper box and she's aggressively showing the Balenciaga tag to the camera.
All my name brand stuff is actually name brand.
Even when she does a makeup haul, she's insufferable. She says, "I only spent $395 at Ulta. I was just putting things in the bag. I wasn't even looking at the prices. I literally thought that I was going to spend $1,000, but no, I only spent like $400. She says things like, $3,000 is like dirt to me because I don't need it. It's trash, but if y'all need it, I'll throw it to you. She gets herself the newest iPhone in pink because, of course, Miss Ashley Trevino is a pretty little princess. She goes to purchase a Louis Vuitton purse, and I'm not entirely sure why she chooses this purse, but it's quite literally a carry-on bag. She just buys a giant-sized duffel bag, but uses it as a purse. She just always has it like on the crook of her elbow. And she just starts carrying around a Louis Vuitton travel bag to the point where it has sparked a trend on TikTok where people say, "I'm Ash Trevino and I'm showing you my outfit for the day." And they're hooking on literal suitcases to the crook of their elbows because it's just the most...
Is it like a tote bag or?
No, it's a duffel with the 2 short handles. Yeah, the Louis Vuitton duffels.
Actual duffel bag.
Yes, an actual duffel bag. It's like the size of her.
Huh.
She said she paid $3,000. I guess she paid that much to look ridiculous. There's also a clip of her where she's seen out shopping and she has this little Louis Vuitton bag. And it's not a purse, it's the actual shopping bag, indicating that she just got out of the store. And when she sees somebody recording her, she places it straight in front of her and starts swinging it around. It is the strangest thing. She says, "I kid you not, I already bought 2 Louis purses over $6,000 within a month, couple weeks. Sunglasses from Louis, my apartment. I'm telling you, it's good money." She's talking about TikTok lives. She brags about spending $327 at the Cheesecake Factory for 2 people, which I will be real with you. The Cheesecake Factory is not cheap, but it's also not that expensive. That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But she can't afford beds for her kids?
Her
explanation to netizens, and I don't know if she's going to have a chance to explain this to CPS workers or if they're even going to ask, but I digress. She explained.
For sure, but now that I know that they fixed up their room, you see the LED lights? They fixed up their room. They brought their cajones back from my mom's house because they had their vanity stuff over there. They brought everything back, so now I'm going to buy them a bed for Christmas. But I'm going to get it before Christmas. But I don't know if I should get them bunk beds because they're older, or if I should get them one bed to share.
That's
Girl.
crazy.
Yeah. She says, additionally, this excuse is brought up that she's just not sure which bed to get them, and that's the reason that she's stalling from purchasing a bed. But she continues to spend so much money. She spends, I would assume, thousands of dollars every single week on DoorDash, Ubers, and Airbnbs, as well as alcohol.
Like she's living at different Airbnbs?
Yes, she just loves to go to different Airbnbs and just party with 19-year-olds that she meets on TikTok.
Girl.
This is a 36-year-old woman. This is oddly infuriating, but it's not just material goods that she's purchasing. At one point, Ashley leaves her kids at home to go to Disneyland. She lives in Texas, so she flies to Disney, which Disney adults, great, do your thing. But also, if you have children and you love Disney, I can't imagine not wanting to experience it with them. When netizens call her out on this, like, this is so weird. You've got 2 girls and you go to Disney by yourself?
I didn't take them to Disney. I've said this before. If you were not on that live, I'm sorry you weren't there. But I did not take them to Disney because my kids do not fly.
What do you mean when she said that they don't fly?
They don't like to get on an airplane, which is not true. Her kids have TikTok accounts, and one of them debunked her, literally saying, I don't know why she said that. Like, I fly. Like, I'm not scared of airplanes. This is so weird. And also, if the reason that she doesn't take them is because of school, why doesn't she just take them when they're on break? It's not like she has to go Monday through Wednesday. She can go on the weekend or during spring break. But the bragging never ends. Ashley Trevino even casually brags about getting a BMW. She just is in a BMW one day. She's sitting there eating In-N-Out live streaming, and she's showing her face. So she's sitting in the driver's seat eating In-N-Out, and she goes, y'all, I'm eating In-N-Out. And then she takes time to reverse the camera to show the steering wheel, and she said, okay, I got a BMW and it suits me. Sunroof, and it's nice. Like, it has an LED light over here and over here on the dash as well.
Did she buy a BMW or is she?
So clearly she can afford a bed.
Bruh.
She also makes fun of her friends for flying Spirit while she flies first class. It is expected by CPS that parents provide a safe environment for their children. Interactions between family members are evaluated to identify nurturing relationships or potential signs of emotional or physical abuse. In another live stream, Ashley is on live while she's on the phone with her daughter. She asks her daughter, do you want lip fillers? Which her daughters, even if they were of age,
Fillers?
13 and 16, I wouldn't feel comfortable with my mom asking me that. I would feel pretty insecure.
Do you want lip filler? No, my lips are actually big. They're not that big, baby.
Okay, ma'am?
They're big enough for me. They're not that big.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Why are you being a hater?
Let me see.
Girl.
They look like the same size as yours.
No, they don't.
Mom, yes, they do.
And no, they don't.
She's FaceTiming her daughter and smirking on the camera at her
Those
own
are your
daughter's lips, and
babies.
she's scoffing. In a separate live stream, she's on FaceTime again with her daughter, and her daughter says, my nose is so perfect. This is a little taken out of context, and I'll explain, but it has gone viral.
Yeah, my nose is so perfect.
No, your nose is not perfect.
Your nose ain't either.
Bye.
Now, to be fair, this is because her daughter did get a nose piercing, and this is the FaceTime where she reveals it to her mom. So she does have some right, I guess, to be angry, but not really, because she's not mothering them well anyway, regardless.
Exactly.
But netizens don't think that makes this any better.
No,
This
it
is the
doesn't.
same woman that on live stream, she called her own 2 daughters slurs while laughing.
Such
What do you mean slurs?
Slurs targeted towards the Mexican community. In another clip, she's talking to her kids and they're arguing. I have an A+ in every class. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you're not. You're not. You're probably barely gonna pass anyway, literally. To which comments read, who needs enemies when you have a mom like Ash Trevino?
Oh
But
God,
it's
what the
not
fuck?
even just the emotional abuse, because there are so many different pillars on how you take care of children. You can't even just physically provide the necessities. You have to emotionally be there and physically be there for them. Her younger daughter, E, has to go to the hospital one day. They already made it back home. She's on live stream, and Ashley, instead of taking her, jumps on another TikTok live and says, guys, this is my sickly baby. That's the one that I have to go take to the hospital and go get tested in a couple weeks. I'm not going to explain nothing else because she doesn't want me to. Mere minutes later, I don't even think 10 minutes have passed. She says, if y'all want me to tell you about my baby girl's health, go ahead and send the galaxies. Galaxies being $15 donations on TikTok, because there's tiers to the donations.
If y'all want me to tell y'all about my baby girl's health, go ahead and send the galaxies.
She's willing to sell her daughter's medical history for the highest bidder.
Bruh.
In another moment that might end up in a CPS file somewhere, Ashley's live streaming. She's walking into her room dancing to her song called Noo-Noo. We're going to get into that. One of her daughters is throwing up in the hallway. She tells her mom, Mom, I just threw up.
Mom, I just threw up.
You just threw up? Why?
I just threw up.
You're lying.
Let me throw.
She turns around and keeps dancing.
Mom, I threw up. Why are you dancing? She's dancing? Yes. Alexa, stop.
Bro, I was jamming to Noo-Noo.
Netizens are commenting, the fact that her first instinct is to accuse her of lying? She treats her daughters like they're just roommates in their own home.
Oh,
like
God.
there's no relationship between them. For Thanksgiving, for example, Ashley drives her kids. These are the netizens are compiling on Reddit all the things that they want to send to CPS. They're like mass reporting her to CPS. For Thanksgiving, Ashley drives her kids 8 hours to El Paso, Texas, where she's going to stay with who she calls her tia. Tia meaning auntie in Spanish. But this is not Ashley's auntie. This is not the kids' tia. This is a random person that Ashley has met on the internet that she calls auntie. She's not been invited to her own parents' Thanksgiving, so she's going to a random person that she met online to her home, bringing her kids all the way to El Paso, Texas on Thanksgiving, leaving them sick and alone in the Airbnb. She's like, go order DoorDash for Thanksgiving. I'm going to go get drunk at the bars. And she's live streaming all of this.
Oh my God.
Wait, I'm so sorry. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You're going to the stranger's house.
Yeah, and then so she rented an Airbnb in El Paso, Texas, and she goes to El Paso to meet up with her auntie that is a stranger that she meets online. She brings her kids, throws them into the Airbnb, and is like, here, order DoorDash because I'm about to go out with the auntie that I met on TikTok and a bunch of her friends.
Oh.
On Thanksgiving, she's like, just order whatever you want. But it's already not a good look, but it gets worse. While she's posting in El Paso, because she does not understand that live streaming does not mean that you have to stream the entirety of your life,
Oh,
she
God.
starts posting about being in El Paso. Another creator on TikTok sees this and posts a TikTok where she is tying her hair up into a messy bun, and she says, when you find out Ashley Trevino is in El Paso, indicating she's trying to fight Ashley Trevino. Ash, a full mother of two, starts mocking the creator on her live stream.
She's like, when you find out Ash Trevino's in El Paso, I'm in El Paso and I'm a your baby daddy.
Ew.
What are you gonna do?
She proceeds to tell the girl, then pull up then, and gives out the very specific bar that she will be visiting later that night. She begs the creator to pull up because the creator is GHETTO and they're in the rich neighborhood and the cops are going to take care of her. Ashley is live streaming at the bar, and I'm not entirely sure why she looks so surprised when the creator that she has been taunting the entire night does indeed show up to the bar. Since she's pretty much given out her GPS coordinates and everything, she's just sitting there while the other creator is saying, you asked me to pull up, you asked me to pull up, and now you don't want to say anything, you asked me to pull up. The situation escalates to some mediocre hair pulling before everybody is kicked out of the establishment. The other creator goes on live to talk about what happened, and she says, this is me. I was like, so you tell me to pull up? You tell me to pull up? And Ash starts getting up. So I went and I grabbed her hair. I snatched that. Bro, tell me why her hair feels like grass, bro. I grabbed it and it ripped off. Ash is later live streaming, brushing her hair with her fingers, saying, I don't even have my bobby pin anymore. I think she took it. I really do think she took it like for an autograph or something because I don't have it anymore. You would have thought like a that didn't like me was gonna swing. She would have swung at the okay? This pulls my hair. Like it's the first reaction this does. And I'm like, she pulled my hair. And this is fat as this is really fat. She's saying all of this in the car while the stranger that she met on TikTok, the auntie, is driving. But now, to some extent, this auntie is intoxicated. They were live streaming in the bar where viewers clearly see her drinking. So now the drinking and driving is being live documented.
Oh boy.
When they get back to the auntie's house, the kids end up coming there, and E, the younger daughter, is not feeling well. She feels sick. She wants to throw up. On top of that, she's likely stressed and freaking out, or at least anxious about the bar fight that Ashley got into because she tells Ashley, I saw the video of what happened at the bar. Like I was watching the live. And if you're wondering, how do I know all of this? It's because Ashley is still live streaming right now at the auntie's house. And when they're at the Tia's house, when the night is over, the Tia's ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend come over and a whole fight breaks out. Ashley is live streaming. You can't see too much. The cameraman is not doing their job because they're in the middle of the fight. Eventually, Ashley decides to call the police, but she's still live streaming. She does not turn it off. She does not mute her phone. She goes on to tell the police that they need to hurry and come, and here is the address. She says her auntie's full residential home address on the live stream. She doxes this auntie's place of residence, but also the place that she brought her children to.
Oh my God.
The police leave, and the auntie and all of them go back to Ashley's rented Airbnb because they don't feel safe there anymore. Which, side note, this is actually where a viral TikTok clip is formed. Ash Trevino calls her private parts her Noo-Noo, and she has this whole song about it. And people have this running joke that her Noo-Noo, her private spots, are quite smelly. They don't smell good. And there's this one clip that's been taken out of context.
Why?
Call it Noo-Noo?
I have no clue.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's asking her auntie, does it smell? Yeah, does it smell? Does it smell? Does it smell in there? Does it smell? Does it smell? Does it smell? Did it smell?
Okay.
And she's asking her like 10 times while she's on live stream.
Did it smell? Did it smell?
The context of this is she was vaping in the bathroom and she didn't want her kids to know that she was vaping in the bathroom. But that doesn't even make sense because they're in a different live. She was caught giving her kids her vape to use.
What?
So I don't know why she's asking if it smelled, if she was insinuating something else and then was trying to cover it up with this whole vape story. But it's become this whole internet meme with a life of its own of, did it smell? Did it smell? Did it smell? No, but did it smell? So the group of them, they're now back at Ashley's Airbnb and the daughters are there. Ashley is live streaming and she's standing there chowing down on fries and you just hear
Someone just fucking ring my doorbell. Oh yeah, that must be my DoorDash. God. Okay. Back to this dumb bitch.
Hear the auntie talking to her because a physical fight broke out. I don't know the extent, but it seems like to some extent there was domestic violence. This is the auntie's ex-boyfriend that came, and a physical altercation took place between him and the auntie. And the auntie, she's dry heaving because it's pretty clear that from the perspective of the live stream, she was harmed physically to some level. She tells Ashley, I don't know how much abuse I told you about, but I never told my daughter about it. It is so ridiculous because Ashley continues chowing down on the fries that someone even comments, and back to the food we go. The El Paso incident, it becomes dubbed that in the Ash Trevino lore, is just this incredibly idiotic and unsafe situation. The drinking and driving, obviously, but also the fact that Ashley is egging a stranger to come and fight her, even though her kids are in town. She doxes her auntie. She confronts the stranger at the bar. I mean, there's so much going on, and it's just flat out dumb. But the most mind-numbing thing, the most mind-numbing part of all of this is this isn't even the first time that somebody pulls up to fight Ashley. She has been through this whole rodeo before. Ashley has started getting herself into altercations with other TikTokers, one of them being a creator by the name of Tampa Bay, who has taken the initiative to create a GoFundMe to support her travel fees to go to Ashley's home to physically assault her and pull up, which I like to mind my own business most of the time. I don't know the first thing about Tampa Bay, but I do know that Ashley should understand that whatever she is doing online is going to come back to her kids. There are creators out there that are wanting to find Ashley's home and confront her home where her kids often stay. It's a dangerous situation overall. Ashley would even tell Tampa Bay, pull up to my house then. Pull up.
Tampa Bay said she was gonna come in 5 weeks.
I'll be waiting.
Tampa Bay does in fact pull up. Thankfully, the kids are fine. Well, fine in that situation, but Ashley has repeatedly doxed her home address with no regard for her kids' safety.
That is crazy.
Incidents where the children, have noticed strange cars driving around, scoping out their house, and naturally they get very concerned, they get very anxious, very worried. They call the police. The two daughters and Ashley are home. Ashley is home. The guardian is home. The police arrive. They have to take a report. Ashley lets her two girls talk to the police officer while she stands there, pointing her finger in the air, holding up her phone. She's in the midst of a very intense, cutthroat TikTok battle. This is how she signals donate, donate. So you know TikTok battles, you see the lifeline go up and you're trying to get donations to beat the other creator. You have to keep doing some tapping motion to indicate like donate, donate, donate. This is her favorite thing, to tap in the air. And that means donate to me, donate to me. And she's tapping.
Why are people donating though? That's crazy.
Her safety, her children's safety is going to get in the way of her getting those freaking galaxies. She goes out to the front to get a view of the cop car. She's showing this in the back, the officer, and she's whispering, double it, double it, double it, double it, double it, double it. Come on, come on, double it, double it, double it.
Is she whispering or?
Yeah, but I'm sure the officer can hear her.
What the fuck?
Yeah. In another clip, she tells the live that her daughter has a burn, and she asks, what can I put on their burn? She's on the phone with her friend who says, I really think you should take your daughter to urgent care if it's bad. Can you send me a picture of it? Then I'm gonna have to get a freaking Uber. Okay,
What?
just because you have to get an Uber doesn't mean you shouldn't take her to the freaking urgent care. I know, but I have to get up early tomorrow.
For what?
So now she is physically neglecting her children as well. But it does get worse.
It's not like she
When
actually
one is
works.
watching an Ash Trevino live stream, there's always one thing that gets brought up, used, seen, just peeking from the side somewhere like a little stalker, and it's her adult device, specifically one that is shaped like a rose. I'm just going to call it the rose, the haunted rose.
Oh,
and when
the
she is
vibrator.
confronted with the fact that she just has him laying it around in a home where she has a 13 and 16-year-old daughter, I mean, why? Why not put it in a drawer like a normal person?
Like,
She's asked
doesn't live
online,
alone
why
like
do
me.
people support you when you have toys in front of your minor kids? And she screams, do they f***ing use them? They still touch them, asking, what should we name these?
Oh, Lord.
So to give you some context, there was an incident that this creator is referring to from a separate live stream. Ashley she's charging the haunted rose, and I guess one of her kids spots it and is like, what is this that's charging?
Ew, why is that thing charging?
Can you leave my rose alone? Bro, leave my rose alone. She needs me in a little bit.
And the daughter asks, what's her name? Who? The rose? What's her name? Oh, I haven't named her yet. What should we name her?
Girl.
We should name her H. She says her name. Her own name. The daughter says her own name. Because she's 16. She doesn't know what's going on. And the mom
probably
says,
does, though.
I don't want to name her that. Ashley just has this strange belief that is so untethered from reality that if she says something during a live stream, it just goes floating into the ether. It can never be used against her. She admits to her viewers on live that she used to have this crazy animosity towards her eldest daughter. She says she didn't even like the fact that her children's father always paid more attention to their daughter than to her.
Not this kind of mom.
Because it's
Trash.
a little child that needs a lot of attention and care to
Trash.
fully develop into a functioning human being, and that is the responsibility of both parents. But to Ashley, this is rather unacceptable. One of the 7 deadly sins, if you ask her. She claims that she would get so upset that she would grab her daughter H by the hair and yank her to the ground. And she's saying all of this proudly.
She literally has been through, like, the bottom of her life. Like, I'm telling you, whenever we lived with her dad, I used to pull her by the hair because I was so mad at her. Like, I feel like he loved her more than he loved me. And so, like, I took my anger out on her. And she doesn't even, like, hate me for that. Like, she doesn't even remember that.
Netizens are threatening, if not already dialing CPS on Ashley for that clip alone. They're commenting about how crazy this is that she's jealous of her own child. Ashley decides to then further address the situation on a separate live stream, clarifying. By the way, she's doing her makeup while clarifying this very serious allegation, and the beauty blender she is using is the biggest makeup sponge I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. It's the size of a dish sponge. But that's neither here nor there. She continues, she states, was I hit as a kid? Yes. I was always hit as a kid. That's why I wouldn't hit my kids. I never abused my daughter, you guys. What I said was I would get mad at her. Yes, I would. I pulled her hair. Yeah, but I never abused her. I never hit my kids, you guys. That's one thing y'all need to understand. The only reason that I pulled her hair was because she ran from me and I tried to grab her, and instead I grabbed her hair. I never abused my kids. I never hit my kids. If you ask my kids if I hit them, I don't hit them. That's why they don't listen to me. And this was when she was little. This was a long time ago. I don't care. Y'all can sit there and call me an abuser, call me what you want, but at the end of the day, my kids know I never abuse them. They never have bruises on them. If anything, I bribe my kids with money. But then on a separate live stream, she'll also admit that she almost went to jail. She says, how did the glass break? So I'm implying, I'm deducing that there was some broken glass and everybody was asking her about it. She said, I threw the glass. I broke my phone too. My phone's broke right now. 2 days ago, me and my daughter got into it and she threw a chair at me and my leg is bruised. She put her hands on me and I already told her, stop putting your hands on me, bro. This is not the first time she's done that. We can somewhat decipher that she threw her phone and some sort of glass object. And she does even more alarming stuff. These are all the things that people are trying to report to CPS. Ashley is on the phone with a romantic interest of hers. He's on speakerphone, and Ashley has her daughter right next to her. The guy asks her,
Hey, can I ask you a question? Can I take you to my crib?
Sure, go ahead. Just don't fucking take advantage of my daughter.
Wait, what you said?
Just don't make me a grandma.
What?
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's just
That is crazy. A grandma.
Jennifer Soto.
Yeah.
Why are you even saying that? Why are you bringing up Woody Allen right now?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Later on the live stream, she says, it's like one of my kids. She meets a guy. She likes him. Hypothetically, this is what she's saying hypothetically. She wants to do something. The guy asks her, how old are you? She says, I'm 18. I'm 17. She's 15 at this point. Guy believes it. And then I find out, honestly, if I find out my daughter's doing something, I'm not going to sit there and call the cops. I was her age once. I was doing it, so.
Oh,
But
God.
the alarming stuff
Ma'am.
comes in by the types of people that she decides to surround herself and indirectly put in her daughter's paths. She goes on a live stream to talk about writing to Chris Watts.
What?
The infamous killer who killed his wife and
Ain't
his
no
2 kids.
fucking way.
Her friend tells her that he's evil, that he killed his wife and kids. And Ashley responds, well, maybe he killed his wife because he's not happy.
Okay.
And said that the episode on Chris Watts on some sort of crime show made her fall asleep.
What does that imply?
What does that mean?
It is just rude. What do you mean? 3 people lost their lives and you're falling asleep on the couch? Just turn it off. Why are you saying this?
No, it's just like, why are you saying that? Like, if you're tired, you fall asleep from
a
crime. It's not bad. But...
It's someone who likes to date inmates and will jump from one inmate to another. Typically, I would imagine they themselves are not an inmate, so they're, instead of on Hinge, they're exclusively finding romantic partners on writeaprisoner.com. And Ashley Trevino gets known on TikTok for being an inmate hopper. But it really all starts with this very awkward moment when she live streams herself picking up her boyfriend of 9 months from jail while he's being released.
Wait, is this the one that happened?
No, that was a separate person who likes to sleep with inmates when they get out, or she slept with one inmate and it was connected to Wade Wilson because she was like, Wade Wilson, hi, and then we covered. Yeah.
Wade Wilson.
Yeah, it's like a thing. It's a thing, yes. She brings him to this hotel room. There's a giant heart on the hotel bed made out of roses. She has a whole snack basket picked out for him, and he's just walking in, and the whole live stream is uncomfortably awkward. He's ignoring her. He doesn't seem excited to be there. He doesn't even look excited to be a free man. It almost appears by some netizens' perspectives that the prospect of him getting into bed with Ashley Trevino, he'd rather go back into his cell.
Damn.
And the energy, the visuals are just off, and people are commenting. I remember when my ex came out of jail, he literally could not stop touching me nonstop. He would not stop holding me. He would not stop paying attention to me. Jesse showed no interest in her. This is so sad. It is pretty clear that Jesse was likely using her for commissary funds when he was in prison. Even when they live stream together, he looks like he wants to keep a safe 6 feet social distancing space between them. But before you even feel a tiny, modest sympathy for Ashley, she also gets upset when Jesse wants to see his own children because she doesn't want his child's mother in his life. Within 3 days of Jesse being out, she's calling him her husband.
Oh boy.
People are confronting her about the fact that he has his child's mother's face tattooed on him, and they tell her, hey, are you not upset? They're just trying to start drama. Okay, they're egging her on, the netizens. They're like, are you not upset? You don't want your face tattooed on Jesse? And she gets very defensive. I'm good. I don't need a tattoo to symbolize what I am to my husband. As long as I know where I stand with my husband, we're fine. But she gets his TikTok handle tattooed on her. Not even his name. The TikTok handle.
This dumb bitch.
At Rotten Mango.
I'm doing good.
Tattooing that.
Wait, she tattooed it on her body?
Yes. His TikTok handle.
What?
The relationship lasts somewhere in the ballpark of 8 business days before Ashley is on live stream ranting, clapping her hands as if we are the ones to blame for this. She says, and that's what irritates me. Y'all think you know him? Y'all don't, bro. I was with him for 9 months, holding him down, and he's talked so much crap about me. The tears that I have to hold back when I see him. Look, he's requesting again to be in my live stream. He's requesting again. Jesse is not a nice person. Jesse is a really mean, ugly person. Y'all don't know what I've had to endure the last 2 weeks, okay? I'm not wanting to bash him. He's not a nice person. Jesse let all these females make him feel like he was just the luckiest man out there. He was just using me for clout because without Ashley, Jesse is not nothing. Without Ashley, there is no Jesse. I made Jesse.
Okay.
She's 36. Later in a video, she responds, why did you guys break up? So she's like reading the comments. Why did you guys break up? Because of social media. A lot of females were in his inbox. I just didn't have the trust. I would tell him I wish he was back in prison because I trusted him in prison because nobody knew who he was. Nobody was writing to him. He wasn't calling them. You know, when he came out, I let him have social media. I gave him a little cheap phone. I told him, make a TikTok. I said, make a TikTok, babe. And that was my biggest mistake, was to let him get involved in the social media life.
How many followers does she have?
It's hard to say because she keeps getting her accounts deleted.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's like on her 6th account.
Because
oh my god.
Like,
yeah.
She's a mess.
People report her and
yeah, and then she'll just completely flash her entire bare chest on a live stream on TikTok.
Oh.
Huh.
There are also some very strange moments in this whole relationship saga with Jesse. Ashley goes on live where her daughters are her moderators. I don't know if they were her moderators for every single live, but the fact that they are her moderators and they have frequently said, like, Mom, don't do this. Mom, don't say this. They'll come into the room sometimes while she's live streaming to say, stop doing this. So it's pretty clear that they know what she's doing on live. They're watching. She states, to be honest, you guys, it's just going to give Jesse more clout. Just kidding. He has an 8-inch.
I mean, the first day we did it like, what, 5 or 6 times? If I can remember, maybe a little bit more the first day. The first weekend was pretty wild.
Okay.
I literally could feel him like appear.
Oh God, Lord have mercy. Who asked?
She goes into graphic detail describing the width, I guess. In a separate live, she's asked, was there passion? To be honest, yeah. It's crazy though, because for like 2 weeks, it was still good after the second week. The first day we did it like 5 or 6 times. I can't even remember. Maybe a little more. The first day, the first weekend was pretty wild. I would tell him like, it hurts everywhere, everything. And then she would just nod, licking her lips. And every single time we didn't use protection and he never pulled out.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Jesse is on a separate live stream where he claims that he had to put a blanket to cover Ashley Trevino's entire body and face because he could not get excited for activities without that.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
That's crazy.
Did you like put like a bag over her head when you guys,
Okay, so I put the blanket all over her. I just wanted to see that. If I seen anything else, it wasn't gonna work out. You know what I'm saying?
The top comments are, mind you, this is my phone. Mind you, I just woke up. Soon after their breakup, Ashley starts hinting at the fact that she might be pregnant. And hinting is a severe understatement. She might as well have tattooed it on her. Potentially pregnant. She tells her viewers,
I was ovulating the day after the day he came home. We can all be your baby daddy. You want to be my baby daddy? No, I already told Jesse that if I'm pregnant, I told him on the way to Irving. On the way to Irving, I told him, I said, look, if I'm pregnant, because I told him, I said, I start my period in 3 days. And he's like, what are you telling me? I said, I'm just saying, I start my period in 3 days. And he's like, what are you telling me, Ashley? And I was like, no, I'm just saying, like, just in case, something happens and I'm pregnant, I don't need you to be there for me. I said, I can raise this baby on my own. I've raised 2.
No, you can't.
I don't need you to be here to raise my baby.
people were so confused by this. People start putting the dates together, and Ashley's digital footprint has likely accelerated climate change by at least 24 months. She is live streaming every single waking moment of her day, which is not a great thing to do if you don't want to get caught in your own lies. People are running through the timelines to point out, wait, if she was pregnant, then she had her period on this date, then she would have known that she was pregnant if she missed her period. But those days that she would have known that she was pregnant or potentially pregnant, she was just drinking and live streaming all the time. When she's confronted with this, netizens are very upset because that's a very serious thing to do, is drink while potentially pregnant. And she says she's drinking because she's not 1,000% confident that she's pregnant when you can just take a pregnancy test. She says that she merely has a suspicion that she's pregnant, but she didn't take a test yet.
Right.
It is the very accurate, very true intellectual theory that if you don't know, it does not
Shut the
exist.
fuck up.
She says, once I find out for sure that I'm pregnant, I'm not drinking. I am off of it for 9 months. But she's also very upset that her viewers care about her drinking alcohol and potentially being pregnant. She says,
I'm not going to answer yes or no if I'm pregnant. That's not what I'm going to do. You're going to have to wait. Y'all are not anybody important to me. So for me to just sit here and say, no, I'm not pregnant. Yes, I'm pregnant. Y'all are not important to me. I don't even know you.
Very quickly, the newfound pregnancy becomes Ashley's entire personality. She streams, y'all, I have never been so scared to bring a baby into this world.
You're not pregnant.
When I brought them to, I was with their dad. Me and their dad were married each time. They were planned. This one was planned too, but I'm not with Jesse no more, and I'm scared. I'm scared.
Wait, is she pregnant or?
We don't know.
She's just like crying about it.
Yeah. In another live stream, though, she complains.
Today, my back has been killing the fuck out of me. Like, I told Lisa, I said, girl, I feel like I'm about to start my period. And I just got off my period.
So you're not pregnant.
Like, how would you just get off your period if you're potentially pregnant? Eventually, the story becomes too ridiculous to sell. I mean, at some point, even the trees in your backyard are going to start putting 2 and 2 together, like none of this is making any sense. And ultimately, she addresses the pregnancy situation by saying, were you ever pregnant? Yes, unfortunately, I was. But the stress gets to you. So unfortunately, I was. And I was very sad, but I was happy at the same time. hinting at the fact that she suffered from a miscarriage from the stress. The
Right.
comments read, "She reminds me of one of those high school girls that would say that they're pregnant for attention and then end up, quote, losing the baby." But later on, Jesse explains in a live stream that Ashley terminated the pregnancy, or at least that's what he thought, that she did not suffer from a miscarriage. To which Ashley responds on live,
Nobody was supposed to know that I had an abortion. And he literally just told everybody that I had an abortion. But I had an abortion because I didn't want to have his baby. Hey, Daddy.
I absolutely believe in my freedom of choice as a woman, but I think the difference between having it be a choice versus having a miscarriage are completely separate things, especially in this situation. She originally claimed that she lost her baby due to stress, and that is not a choice. Netizens were obviously sympathizing with her after that, and even had she said, "I made the choice to do this because I don't think I'm going to be a fit parent to a newborn right now," I mean, I guess it depends on everybody's beliefs, but I think that's perfectly normal. But netizens were obviously sympathizing with her, donating so much more to her because they thought that she had suffered this very traumatic thing that a lot of netizens can relate to. But it was a lie. In another clip, she says,
He's just mad because I aborted our baby. I never wanted to have his kid anyways.
I'm literally glad I got rid of our baby. I didn't want nothing from you.
what makes this even worse is the fact that in a separate live stream, this is when she was telling the whole world and everybody's mother that she might be pregnant. She says, "If I'm pregnant, I'm keeping the baby. I already told my kids. I told them, there's a possibility." So she's getting her minor children emotionally and potentially just mentally involved in this. With Jesse's relationship with Ash Trevino, that's where she really starts gaining a lot of TikTok fame. But people find out this is not her first relationship with an inmate. In fact, there was a previous one that she documented heavily through Instagram by the name of Isaiah Gonzalez. This was her previous husband that was in prison. She'd introduced her children to them. She had brought her two very young daughters. At this point, the eldest was about 10 years old when she brings them to prison to meet this prisoner that she has now decided to marry.
How do we know about this?
She has documented it all over Instagram and then slowly starts talking about it on live. So through her Instagram, we find out that she's posting pictures of the girls visiting Isaiah Gonzalez. And she writes, "We had a great visit today and so blessed that both of our girls were able to go see Daddy." This is the part that is so sick and twisted. This is not the girl's biological father, but she almost convinces them, or maybe she's telling them to call him Daddy, or is convincing them that this is their new daddy. I don't know. She writes, "You can see the happiness on his face. Our first family picture, only one more glass visit until he gets to hug us all." Which I'm not sure you should be taking your children to prison to hug random inmates, but she
What did he do?
introduces Isaiah as the youngest's daddy to the world. She keeps doing this. She's saying, this is E's daddy. But he's not. He's not biologically her dad. He's not her dad anything. She posts more pictures of them meeting in prison. They're holding up hand hearts. She's hashtagging it Going Gonzalez because she's trying to marry him and his last name is Gonzalez. And ma'am, this is not a reality show. She'll hashtag Love on Lockdown. My heart is in Iowa Park, which is where his prison is located. But should her heart not be at home with her own two children? She posts another one where Isaiah is holding E, her youngest daughter, in his arms, physically, during visitation. She captions it, "Today we had the best visit with my husband and her daddy. It's always hard leaving him behind." Again, this is not E's biological father, let alone her daddy, her dad. This is just some random inmate. Love all the time we get with him, and his smile says it all. Just a daddy and his baby girl. It's sad when she runs back for one more hug before we leave, but their bond is unbreakable.
Bruh.
I do want to preface this by saying, I think with the way America likes to incarcerate people for just pretty much everything, there are people in prison for possessing weed. There are people in jail for allegedly being involved in an incident involving the United Healthcare CEO. There are a lot of reasons that people are incarcerated that a lot of people might not necessarily think they should be incarcerated for. I think that for a lot of inmates, having a strong support system outside of prison waiting for them when they get out, it does help rehabilitate them. Again, I'm talking for drug possession charges, things of that nature, health insurance fraud related charges involving massive healthcare companies, things of that nature. I think it's important for these people to have support, and I have a lot of respect for their partners and families that give them that while they're still being part of society and having to deal with the stigma of having a loved one in prison. However, finding inmates to date because you like the idea of being a prison wife is beyond my level of comprehension.
Yep.
Ashley posts on Instagram, August of 2019. She posts 2 pictures captioning, "Life had us in different paths, but just know he makes me happy and he asked me to marry him and I said yes. I am future Mrs. Gonzalez." She goes on this whole rant. For those of y'all that know, y'all know, LOL. And for those of who don't know, now y'all do. People are going to judge us, but like we say, screw what y'all think. I have been here for him and plan to continue that throughout his entire journey that God has given us. Yes, he is away from me, but these years will go by so fast and I can't wait to become Mrs. Gonzalez. If y'all don't like us being together, then feel free to delete me, but he wanted me to let everybody know that he is mine and I am his. And for those of y'all that don't know, he asked me to marry him and got the blessings we needed to move forward with that. By the way, don't let those hate letters think it's gonna stop us.
Okay.
Soon being a prison wife becomes her whole DNA profile. She posts, "I'm a prison wife. My relationship is based on letters, time-restricted phone calls and visits that are few and far between. I'm judged for staying with a man that I could never imagine leaving. I go to bed alone every night and hold it down on the outside while he comes home. I never know when he'll be involved in a riot or moved far away from me. Despite all of this, he is worth the wait."
So
Oh,
do we
God.
know what was his?
We're about to get
Okay,
there,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
She shows off sending 120 pictures, which I can only imagine they're X-rated pictures. She likes to say things like, "Being a prison wife is expensive," and I'm realizing that now because not only do I have my own bills, I still help him. He doesn't ask me for money though. It's just one thing that if I do, it's because I want to. I feel like it's my responsibility as a prison wife.
Right.
Which, side note, a lot of inmates have stated that when it comes to picking a pen pal, if they have a choice, they do not go for the girls that are aesthetically conventionally the most attractive. They will go for the ones that they believe are the most desperate, the one that
Yep.
is craving a compliment,
Yep.
dying for attention, because that is who is going to put money in their commissary. It's
There
like a
you go.
job. You want minimum effort, maximum financial reward. They sit there, write letters. It takes time, but the inmates have time and they get taken care of through financial ways.
I don't think Ash Trevino will agree with this sentiment.
Yeah, she might think that she is the love of their life, the apple to their eyes. They're all peas in a pod. And if
I need
you
to know
send
what he
pictures
did.
like Ash Trevino has sent 120 plus pictures in one go, to be exact, they will 99% of the time pass around those pictures. It is said that they have no respect for any of these. I mean, maybe if an inmate was with their partner before going to jail, they perhaps don't want to share those pictures, but they will pass around pictures. Having an amazing product or service is a massive part about owning a business. I stalk some of your Instagrams and you guys have such artistic abilities. And I know that a lot of you guys write about starting your own shop, but it's often the business behind the business that makes all the difference. Enter Shopify. Shopify is a complete commerce platform that lets you start, grow, and manage a business. You can create and customize an online store. You can easily sell on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube with multi-channel integration and optimize sales with Shopify's renowned checkout system. Shopify was truly the backbone of Grandpa Mango's art studio, and since we were an online-only store, we basically wouldn't have been able to sell anything without Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Selena Gomez's Rare Beauty uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/rotten, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/rotten to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/rotten. But Ashley is in love. She posts wedding pictures with Isaiah Gonzalez, which are just pictures by herself, holding his picture because he's incarcerated. They're not going to let him out and take furlough to take wedding pics. So it's just her in the middle of the road, a literal road, wearing a black dress and a white flower crown, writing, "There is going to be a long road ahead of us in this journey, but with God, we will get through it. Right here in these pics, I'm walking that road alone." Hence why she's on the road. And to give her some credit, the road is empty. "I'm walking that road alone, but even though he wasn't there physically, he's still here with me in this
Bro.
pic. This life isn't for everyone, but it is for me. Hashtag Mrs. Gonzalez. Hashtag my life is behind those walls. This is where things start to escalate. On a live stream, Ashley is telling the story of how she first met Isaiah, because people start bringing it up. They're like, okay, so Jesse was not your first prison boyfriend, your first inmate boyfriend. So who is Isaiah that we found on your Instagram? And she says,
the amount of people who do that. Like, I should Photoshop myself next to, I don't know, Jason Momoa and be like, people are going to say that it's fake, but obviously it's real. Like, you can do everything with AI and Photoshop. But this bitch is just crazy. I don't like her.
well, everyone's wondering why this has happened. Oh, by the way, it is speculated that for all of her prison boyfriends, she's met some of them through Write a Prisoner, websites where you can see pictures of prisoners and decide if you want to be their pen pal or not. But those who know how the prison system works, they speculate that she is pretty well known in certain prisons.
Bruh.
That she will talk to an inmate. They will recommend her to other fellow inmates. They'll say, hey, talk to this girl because she's going to put some money in your commissary.
Bruh.
And she, for the lack of better phrasing, gets passed around. As in, her number and contact information gets passed around to other inmates. But with Isaiah, she says, I actually knew him before he went to prison. She says, my prison life started in 2019. I reconnected with an old childhood friend, okay? She says okay a lot. She also says just kidding a lot, when she's definitely not just kidding.
So, my prison life started in 2019. I reconnected with an old childhood friend, okay? Yes, I am 6 years older than this man. He is still currently serving time in TDC. So we reconnected back in March of 2019. We wrote snail mail letters up until August 2019. Then I set the phone up for this man. On our first phone call, he asked me to marry him. I liked him, so I said yes, and I've known him for years. So after 10 years of not seeing each other, he puts me on his visitation list. I come to go visit him. I drive almost 3 hours.
What did he do?
We start the marriage process. We get married in November of 2019. But mind you, I was visiting this man every weekend up until 2020. Then COVID hits and they shut visits down completely in March.
I knew him since since he was 11. I knew him since he was 11 and I was like 15 or 16, maybe younger, because I was like 15. So he had to have been like 9 when I first met
Girl,
him.
oh
We used to
Lord.
go to our
Okay.
church. I remember telling his mom, because I always thought he was a cute little boy,
my
but I
God.
was older and I was already dating the kid's dad, so I couldn't.
You
date
were
him,
you were
know?
you were what?
She said,
What is
dating the
happening?
kid's dad?
Yeah, they were high school sweethearts. So she was dating someone age appropriate, because she's 15. He was like 15, I think. He was around the same age as her. And she was interested in a 9-year-old boy.
Oh.
Yeah, which is very alarming.
Wait, I'm so sorry. What does dad? Someone's dad mean?
The kid's dad. So she has 2 daughters. Their biological father is her high school sweetheart.
Got it.
That she started dating when she was 15. But she's saying, when I was 15, I was dating the kid's father. My kid's father.
Okay, not okay.
But he was 9, and I couldn't be with him, And she says, once I got married, I used to always tell his mom. She used to tell Isaiah's mom. Because he grew up quick. I would tell his mom, like, I'm going to be your daughter-in-law one day. I'm going to be your daughter-in-law one day. And she's like, no, you're not. My son is too young for you. And then in 2019, I reconnected with her son.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is incredibly creepy. But
disgusting.
Okay, Isaiah was a minor when we first met, but I didn't date him when he was a minor. I'm not sure how she thought that sentence would help her case. Nevertheless, she gets 3 tattoos of Isaiah on her.
Okay.
One of their wedding date on her finger, Isaiah on one wrist,
Brad struck a
Gonzalez
chord,
on
and
the
it's
other
probably
wrist.
a
And these tattoos are
minor.
huge. It would be more inconspicuous for her to wear 5 Apple Watches on one hand. It's that aggressively noticeable.
Like on top or bottom?
On top. And it's just like massive cursive. The whole wrist. And within 5 months, she announces her divorce. The one thing that has always gotten to people is that Ashley explains that Isaiah went into prison at 15 and he won't be eligible for parole until 2032. And if he doesn't get parole, he's not going to be released until 2055. So
Girl, what did you do?
It's a very long time for a 15-year-old to get sentenced. 40 years for a 15-year-old to get sentenced. Whatever he did must be really bad because he was 15. So they start looking into his
Wait, he was 15. He did something so heinous that he was judged as an adult, which is personally I don't think that's okay, but I digress. 40 years at the age of 15 is literally just what the fuck did he do? What the hell? I need to know.
History. 1 count of aggravated robbery, 1 count arson.
Oh.
And 1 count of murder, sentenced to 45 years.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait, what? Repeat that.
When we first met, but I didn't date him when he was a minor. I'm not sure how she thought that sentence would help her case. Nevertheless, she gets 3 tattoos of Isaiah on her. 1 of their wedding date on her finger, Isaiah on one wrist, Gonzalez on the other wrist, and these tattoos are huge. It would be more inconspicuous for her to wear 5 Apple Watches on one hand. It's that aggressively noticeable.
Like on top or bottom?
On top, and it's just like massive cursive. The whole wrist. And within 5 months, she announces her divorce. But one thing that has always gotten to people is that Ashley explains that Isaiah went into prison at 15 and he won't be eligible for parole until 2032. And if it's not okay, parole, he's not going to be released until 2055.
I understand, don't get me wrong. I am fully aware that some kids can, just because you're a kid doesn't mean that you can't do a heinous crime. But, bro, we're 15. Your brain is not even done developing yet. And again, I'm not using this as an excuse. Just because your brain isn't done developing doesn't mean that you don't know what murder or rape is. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just still not okay. Because they're younger, I would like to think that the chance of rehabilitation might be higher. I don't know, fam. This shit kind of irks me.
So people are like, that's a very long time for a 15-year-old to get sentenced. 40 years for a 15-year-old to get sentenced. Whatever he did must be really bad because he was 15. So they start looking into his criminal history. 1 count of aggravated robbery, 1 count arson, and 1 count of murder. Sentenced to 45 years in prison. When Isaiah was 15 years old, he was involved in a very, very meticulously planned robbery that ends in a man's murder. His friend Ruben was working at an Exxon gas station when Muhammad, his boss, decides he's going to go make a night bank deposit. He's going to take cash from the gas station and deposit it at the bank. Ruben texts his friends, 2 other people and Isaiah, so 3 people. They're in a car waiting for Muhammad. They catch him on the road and they stop him. They rob him of all his cash. They know exactly which route he takes, which bank he was going to, how much he has. This is all a very well thought out plan, meticulously done.
And then what happened? What went wrong?
And one of the friends ends up shooting him. They kill him. They drag his body into the woods. They set Muhammad's car on fire and they leave. Eric is the one who fired the shots. He takes $4,000. Isaiah takes home $1,000 from this robbery. And they promptly spend it on whilst bragging to everybody about killing Muhammad. Muhammad has a wife and 7 kids. He has 6 daughters and a son. But sure, I guess that's hilarious. How is that hilarious?
Why would it be hilarious?
They're laughing. To everyone they know. They just think it's so funny. He was sentenced to 45 years in prison in 2011. Sure, he was 15. But, we all knew better at 15. This is not a situation where I don't think anyone can confidently say he was so young, he didn't know what he was doing, unless you're Ashley Trevino. But Ashley is posting on Instagram a word vomit collage. Second look Saturday. Meet Isaiah. He was given a 45-year sentence at 16 years old. Over the past 10 years, he earned his GED, OSHA, Electrical Level 1, Construction Craft Skills, Construction Site Safety Corps, all level certifications. In that period, he has also gotten married and become a wonderful stepdad to 2 beautiful daughters. He loves spending every weekend with his family during visitation at the All Red unit. He is involved in working as a supply clerk. Isaiah is also a talented artist who wants to continue his craft by opening up his own business once he returns to the free world. Isaiah plans on pursuing additional collegiate degrees. Isaiah believes that God will bring him home sooner than his release date. Isaiah is ready for the day when he can be given a second look. She posts, "So blessed my husband was chosen to be the second look person today. Let's pray we can bring him home soon. I will continue to do what's needed for him as a wife and will always be his voice. Love my husband so much. Hashtag let's bring him home. Hashtag proud prison wife. Hashtag my husband's biggest supporter."
Proud prison wife is crazy.
The worst part is Ashley is very proud of all of this. She TikTok live battles with someone talking about her inmate hopping ways, and the other creator says, "That is a lot. How many inmates have you been with? Like 26, you said?" It's like 30 now.
Probably 26 in the last 5 years.
That is a lot.
And she's nodding and smiling like it's something that everyone should do. And they ask her, "Let me ask you a question. Why do you prefer inmates?" "I prefer inmates because I feel like if you're gonna get hurt, it's better to get hurt while they're incarcerated than out here in the free world. Because like I just said earlier, my ex Jesse, when he actually left and we broke up, that one hurt. I still feel hurt to this day." She likes the fact that they have no options. In another creator battle, she straight up asks the other creator, "You haven't heard Ashley the inmate hopper?" I actually married someone who was incarcerated in 2019. We actually knew each other from out here though, and he's actually younger than me. So we reconnected. I became his prison wife, and that's where I met a lot of people that I talk to still. And it just went from there. When we separated, I went with another one and it just went on. Okay, let me ask you, have you ever been with somebody that's not incarcerated? Besides the father to your children, which they're broken up, clearly. And she's shaking her head no.
Okay.
It just doesn't pan out for you, or you just don't want it if they're not inmates. So my actual last relationship out here in the free world was in 2018, and we lived together and everything. And then I started getting inmates, and I've had like guys here and there in between, but I don't know. To say my last relationship out here in the free world is already such a wild sentence to utter.
It is.
She will be on the phone with inmates during her live streams, just spewing words out of her mouth. "You're my 30th inmate. Did I not tell you that? You really are. I swear. I've been with 30 inmates. Now I'm in like a prison sister wife relationship."
You're my 30th inmate. Did I not tell you that? I'm not with no one, just you, but I've already married two. You're stupid. I mean, now I'm in a prison sister wife relationship.
Because I guess the other prisoner she's talking to has a wife.
What? She will call them? The conversation is like brief, I'm assuming? Because they can't talk all day long, right?
No, but sometimes it's not brief. It's not like 5 minutes. It's like 10, 15, sometimes more. And this is highly not allowed by most prison facility standards. You cannot be live streaming a prisoner's calls like that. You have to get proper permission.
Right.
And she's just doing it. Oh. Yeah. She's saying this while her daughters are in the house, the doors are wide open, and their friends are over, and likely they're watching her on her live stream.
Wow.
Sometimes if the prisoners don't do as she says, she'll get very aggressive with them.
It's okay, because I got other options. I'm going to tell Lexi to send me somebody else anyways. You were the wrong option. You ain't nothing. Remember, you're incarcerated.
That's crazy. Who's Lexi?
It's a friend that knows a lot of inmates. She says that she will be open and fine with dating an inmate that has charges of SA on a child. That's fine for her. She also...
She says she will date a
pedophile?
Yeah.
PEDO.
Yeah, a PDF file, I guess is however.
Girl, oh hell no. This bitch is crazy.
Wow.
She has this moment where she talks about how murder charges and SA charges are not that crazy because every single person she's been with has had those charges.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean that they happened. She asks her viewers, "How do you know? Were you there? Were you there? Every single person I've been with has had those charges. Were you there?" We are now entering the belly of the beast. So let's go through and recap all of her relationships. Her very first relationship, or her very first prominent relationship, she marries her high school sweetheart. She has 2 children with him, the 2 daughters that are now 15 and 13. They end up divorcing when their kids are 6 and 3 years old. This is in 2015. They've been together for about a decade, and suddenly Ashley is posting onto Instagram, "OMG, found this pic from prom of 2006, my high school sweetheart, but now soon to be ex-husband. I will always care about him, and he don't even know that. Hashtag prom 06, hashtag my junior year, his senior year, hashtag I know, get out of my feelings, hashtag he done moved on," which implies that perhaps they're getting a divorce and that perhaps Hashtag he done moved on is oddly specific and pretty
Did
indicative
he
that
cheat?
maybe he cheated on her or left her or didn't want anything to do with her anymore. Even later when the divorce is finalized, she posts a pouty selfie writing, "This was my last pic of me being his insert last name. LOL. My divorce was finally finalized after 9 years of marriage and 2 years of separation. Hashtag divorce final. Hashtag goodbye. Hashtag
Girl.
hello Garcia." I guess her original maiden name. Hashtag bittersweet moment. But the reason that the two get divorced is because that she cheats on him, allegedly, with a man in prison.
Girl.
I will say that it seems the children's father is the only redeeming man in this story, at least as of right now. After the divorce, he focuses on his career, is able to remarry, purchase a home, while supporting the children financially by paying Ashley child support every month. It's said that he was also very involved in the girls' lives up until about a few years ago, and it appears that he couldn't see the girls as much, not by his own choice, but it seems perhaps Ashley was making it very difficult for him. 2 years ago, in 2023, the children's father ends up passing away from leukemia, and Ashley does everything in her power to gain sympathy from this. This must be traumatic for her. She's known and been in this relationship with this man for the greater part of her young adult life. They were high school sweethearts, but now she does have 2 children. They don't have their father anymore. It's really up to her to be a supportive mother so that they can grieve.
Right.
And it's very hard to take her emotions seriously when she tries so hard to make it about herself. She states that she's not going to his funeral, but it's speculated that it's because she wasn't welcome there. She tries to make it seem like she's just emotionally not able to. She tells everybody that she might take a mental health break and she will be back. When she'll be back is unclear. May it be sooner, may it be later, maybe it be never, right? Well, she does come back the very next day. Because galaxies don't just send themselves into the ether. She does not, however, pass up the chance to not make this all about her. She says things like, "That could have been me."
Right.
He didn't have to go. He wasn't doing anything. He didn't have to die. That could have been me.
Oh,
I
God.
don't know how that applies. He did pass from leukemia. I'm not sure why she's even saying stuff like this. But it wasn't. And I feel that for my baby so much. I really do. And again, this is after her kids have asked her repeatedly to not talk about their father on live because they're grieving. They don't want to hear this. They don't want this business out there.
It breaks my heart when my babies just say, "I wish my dad was here. I wish my dad was here." Thank you for the hand heart.
Oh my God.
Everything does happen for a reason. So she's reading someone's comment that says everything happens for a reason. Everything does happen for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. This is a pretty niche pet peeve of mine that I don't even know if I should be saying, but when someone passes away and people try to tell each other everything happens for a reason, I do understand the intention behind it, and in certain situations, maybe it's acceptable, but it's this weird feeling of this person's death is to further the plot for everybody else.
Yeah.
What do you mean everything happens for a reason?
Yeah, it's not
just
something that you want to
kind of-
hear.
I don't find it to be the most sensitive thing to say when someone has a passing in their life, especially the way Ashley says it. She says,
Everything happens for a reason. Everything does happen for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. Firm believer. And that's why I'm saying maybe it took this tragedy for me to open my eyes up and to see
See what?
the pain my babies would feel, not only with one parent gone, but with 2.
no, someone did not pass away from leukemia for your character development. That's not even a coherent sentence, Ashley. But she tries further to make this about her, and I genuinely think that she thinks that this man's death is just part of her character development, character arc, and she has no character arc. It is just a perpetual
Yo, I fucked my
decline.
fucking eye lot.
Nevertheless,
I hated her.
She says, whilst kind of creepily smiling, the other day, I tried to leave because I got mad, and H, my daughter, runs after me, and she sits in my car, and she's like, "You're not going nowhere unless I go with you. I already lost my dad. I'm not losing you, Mom." You guys, my babies are going through it. Like, they are so scared. She's like, "I'm not losing you. I've already lost my dad, Mom." It's just opened up my eyes now that them little girls need me.
Girl.
But then to make matters worse, while everybody is attending the funeral that she was not invited to, probably because of who she is as a person and the things that she says and how she treats her kids and probably how she treated her late husband, she is on live streaming dancing to songs that have lyrics like "Baby Daddy, Baby Daddy," while his funeral is happening. Ashley then goes on to state that she's been with 30 different inmates. So these are a few notable relationships that she has been in. In no particular order, you have Isaiah, the one that was convicted of murder of Muhammad, the manager of the gas station and father of 7 kids. Ashley brings her kids to see him. She convinces them, at least briefly, to call him daddy for whatever reason. Those two, they end up breaking up. Things don't go well. She starts posting on Instagram. I have went to visit for 20 weekends straight, not missing one since I got on the visitation list since August 24, 2019. But this weekend, I'm not going to because I chose not to. Some things change, and I honestly don't know if it'll come back from this. It's hard when you're not at fault, but I'm going to do and continue to do what's needed for me and be the best mom I can for my girls. Then she dramatically posts, getting a divorce isn't always a bad thing. Never wanted to do it again, but here I am, and I know I will come out stronger than before. My babies need me. Fixing myself back up after being broken down to my lowest by someone who was supposed to love me. Apparently, their relationship came to an end, according to Ashley, when Isaiah heard rumors in prison that weren't true, she claims. Rumors that she was talking to other inmates. When they were briefly on a break, he asked her, promise me if we break up, which, where are your priorities, you weirdo? He says, promise me if we break up, you'll never be with another incarcerated guy. Her next prison boyfriend is Trevino. Noe was arrested in 2015 for stabbing a man outside of a nightclub. They get married in 2022. She's still married to him because she doesn't want to pay a $400-something fee to finalize their divorce. Noe is the one that initiated the divorce from behind prison walls, and she's been married this whole time. That she's been dating everybody else, calling people her husband, and that's where she gets the last name, Trevino.
That is crazy. So right now she's married.
Yes, to Noe Trevino, another murderer. Her daughter H says the guy is awful. She knows this because Ashley took them, her kids, to see the man in prison. At one point, it appears that she was dating another inmate, and the speculation, okay, so we don't really know much about this inmate. She never really spoke about him in great depth. However, she wore a necklace that would have his name, and it seemed like he was an inmate. And the speculation was that she's getting her makeup done one day on live stream. There's 2 girls with her that are doing her makeup and hair, and she is on her phone. So she's got a phone live streaming her, and then she's scrolling on her phone, and she gets some sort of text message, some sort of news, and it's speculated that she discovered news on the live stream that her boyfriend in jail was involved in some sort of jail fight and was probably hospitalized. She just starts sobbing, wailing, oh no, and just wailing. And I do believe this is a sad situation, and prison violence is a conversation that I think needs to be had. But a lot of netizens have chosen the right to withhold sympathy till later because, I mean, considering the types of people she dates, we don't know if this is a child SAer, we don't know if this is a killer, a mass murderer, we don't know anything.
Pretty much.
Her friends just tell her, it's like this very strange moment. They're fanning her face, she's crying, she's getting her makeup done still, and they say, no, don't cry, you're a bad bitch, don't cry. I know, it's okay.
You're a bad bitch.
Don't cry so much. Then you have Eli. Eli was in prison for strangling a woman. He's also free and constantly on TikTok live streams now. He was in prison for strangling a woman and also breaking his child's femur. He broke his 2-year-old daughter's femur. His whole excuse for that is that he didn't mean to break his daughter's femur, but they have a bone condition in their family. He says, quote, it makes our bones more easy to break, so understand that it's not a regular bone. That's the little detail that people are forgetting. It was a mistake. I was intoxicated, but I sat in the hospital all week for her. He slammed a truck door on his daughter's leg. Yeah.
Okay.
The femur is the hardest bone in the body.
Literally.
I don't believe
literally.
any sort of bone
How?
condition, and even if they do, this is no excuse.
Oh, hell
It
no.
is the longest, strongest, and heaviest bone that supports and can support up to 30 times the body weight of the person. It typically requires significant force, such as a severe trauma from a car accident, to break the femur. And Ashley exposes that while they were in a flirtatious relationship, because they're constantly live stream battling, they're flirting on camera. This is all public information. Like,
he's free now.
He's free,
Okay.
and they're constantly live streaming on TikTok together. they're meeting up, they're doing all these things, and then Ashley, she gets into these fights with her boyfriends, exposes them or starts rumors about them, and I say rumors because we'll get into that, but Ashley exposes that even Eli sent her a text message that if she doesn't respond quickly, it's about to be a DV situation, which he was in prison for strangling a woman. He's also accused of being an SAR by multiple women. And somehow Ashley, well, I guess not somehow, I would expect nothing less from her.
At this point.
She still has a cordial relationship here and there with Eli. They always have this like on and off flirtatious relationship on live streams. They get upset with each other for just the most random things that are not serious. They don't get upset with each other for essaying people, child neglect, breaking daughter's femur, neglecting daughters, nothing. They go and they get upset because Eli will go on live stream and say that Ashley Trevino is built like a juice box. She has a very boxy body shape. But it is very strange to me that they are not upset with each other for the little crimes that some of them are committing. Then most notably, you have her relationship with Francisco, and that is a huge part of the discourse, primarily for how heinous the crimes he committed were, but also because the two teenage girls he killed were 19 and 13. One of her daughters is 13. What's especially alarming is that after Ashley live streamed with him, either he himself with a contraband phone in prison or somebody else made a TikTok account for him. I don't know which option is worse, which, by the way, he's also in another open case where he gave a prison guard $5,000 to smuggle in 100 pills of fentanyl and 1 pound of amphetamines.
Okay.
We're all caught. So he has another case.
Dumbass.
He might have a phone. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, they usually do find a way to smuggle those inside.
His phone posting his own TikTok fan edits. I don't know which one is worse, but there are videos of him talking on the phone in prison with very specific songs playing. Some lyrics read, I don't know why, but I fell in love with breaking the law. And it's romanticizing prison life and breaking the law. Her relationship with double murderer Francisco comes to an end, not because he killed 2 young girls, well, and then another, so 3, one of them almost the same age as Ashley's own children. It comes to its fateful demise because Ashley would constantly show him on her live streams when they were video chatting, letting him speak to her viewers, talking about his victims, laughing that he was innocent, making fun of his victims, which is clearly, she's not allowed to be live streaming their calls. He has his video call privileges revoked for 90 days. And that appears to be the extent of Ashley's undying love for criminals. Triple homicide? Debatable. 90 days without video chats is an unspeakable break in their relationship. That is a deal breaker. It cannot be. Then you have Ash Trevino's more recent relationship with someone that she jokes is going to be her daughter's new stepdad. This guy, his name is Santos. He's out in the free world, if you will. The allegation is that Ashley's oldest daughter, who was 15 when this took place, had shown her mom this guy's account of this random small TikToker and was like, I kind of have a crush on this guy. Look at him. He's kind of cute, isn't he, Mom? Which would be a normal, healthy thing for a girl her age to do. Just show her mom her internet crush. That is what it is, just that, an internet crush. But Ashley instantly goes and starts flirting with Santos. She will go on lives with Santos, this random man she's never been part of this, didn't even know existed until allegedly her daughter was like, hey, isn't this guy kind of cute? I kind of have a crush on him.
So he's not an inmate, he's just a TikToker.
Yes, but he has been accused of some heinous things as well.
Oh my God.
Double whammy. Just talking about how she's going to breastfeed Santos, telling him she's going to breastfeed him on live stream while she grabs her chest and is like jiggling her chest around. Her daughter walks into the room seeing this whole interaction and asks another person on the live stream, some random creator, Ashley is asking, are you jealous because Santos is going to have all of this? And she proceeds to get up and bend over. She tells Santos, you have to put body oil all over my body. Santos even asks Ashley's daughter, how do you feel that your mom stole your crush? To which her daughter claps back, Santos, how do you feel about being bald?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's balding. Oh. And Ashley just sits there. Why would you ask her that? Why would you ask her that? But does that stop her from publicly doing this and humiliating herself and indirectly her daughter? Although I don't think that her daughter should feel humiliated, I think that everyone on the internet is very well aware that she is her own person and her mom does not reflect her own personality. But Ashley tells her viewers, I've seen his pee-pee and he's already seen my Noo-Noo, okay?
I've already seen his pee-pee and he's already seen my Noo-Noo. Okay?
This is where the word Noo-Noo is born.
So,
Her
how
private
old
part.
is he? He looks like a
She
child.
also releases a song where she's like,
You want to know how it smells? As Santos, he know it smell well.
Oh Lord.
I
Are
can't.
they still talking right now?
On and off, not really. Yeah, she goes on to apologize briefly for her actions on the live stream. She said, first and foremost, I want to apologize for my actions the other day. I know I shouldn't have done the things that I did. Out of alcohol, I did. There's no excuse, but yeah, so I'm just going through that right now. It really opened up my eyes, so I apologize to anyone that followed me, liked me, and then stopped liking me after that. I run to alcohol for everything, so I really apologize from the bottom of my heart. But
What does she do?
just flirting with this guy so weirdly in front of her kids and saying all these things. But she's not sorry because she continues, quote unquote, dating this guy afterwards. When Santos calls, she'll smile, show the live stream, Santos on the caller ID, pick up the phone. Hey, daddy. Ma'am, you look old enough to be his mother.
Literally.
Hey, daddy.
How old is he?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
He looks in his young 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
The
not
whole thing is
younger.
bizarre, and her relationship with her daughters is very alarming because the fact that this is her daughter's alleged crush and she feels comfortable doing this, and she's almost rubbing it, taunting it in her daughter's own face. And people have pointed out that anytime they do TikTok battles, because sometimes her eldest daughter will do a TikTok battle with her own mother, anytime her daughter wins the TikTok battle, Ashley looks genuinely upset. Genuinely upset. So now, with this going on, Ashley and Santos finally make arrangements to meet each other. Originally, the plan was for Ashley to fly to LA to see Santos. That ends up falling through. The new plan is Santos will come see Ashley in Texas. For 3 days, Ashley is eagerly waiting for Santos, who is just not showing up. For 3 days, he stands her up. He just keeps standing her up. And this is a boy that she has never met in person before. She has no established romantic connection with him, but she is publicly wiping her tears with a crumpled up tissue because he's not showing up to see her. And she made him a whole brisket.
Bro, I can hate him.
She never cooks for her kids, but she cooked him a brisket. And he didn't show up for her brisket. And she tells her viewers, I'm still human at the end of the day, you guys. It doesn't matter what happens in my life. I'm still freaking human. Inevitably, because fate is sick and twisted, Santos does end up making his way over to Texas to stay with Ashley. Her daughters are home. This is her daughter that initially showed her the crush, right?
Okay.
And now her mom is glued to him like a piece of gum. Ashley is latching onto him like a koala. It is the strangest sight to see. Her behavior reminds me of like a middle school relationship where someone is so deeply insecure and must show you that they're in a relationship and they have the emotional maturity of a Brussels sprout. So they just think that if they're physically touching someone, the world will believe that they're in love.
This is live stream?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Just kidding.
Are y'all jealous because I'm in the same room as him or what?
Moreover, throughout the entire live, she just keeps calling Santos her husband whilst biting her lip and staring deeply into the camera. She also has this flirting look. Anytime she's flirting with someone, this is her signature look. She bites her lip, squints her eyes, and then flares her nostrils.
Why am I seeing this?
It's like her mating call. Yeah, but
not a mating call.
to what is about to happen. Ashley is going on her very first date with Santos, her daughter's crush. She hires a makeup
Former
artist,
crush,
puts
hopefully.
on what I can only describe to be a long maxi dress that is not casual. It reminds me of someone might wear to prom. And they head to a club where they get seats in the back of the club and they order steaks. And all of this is being live streamed, and there is just loud music blaring. The bass of the music itself is enough to cook the steak to a medium well. She's asking Santos to cut her own steak because she's dainty and frail, and he's just there talking and messaging other girls whilst there's music just bumping at the club.
How do we know that?
She's live streaming it.
How do we know he's messaging other
Yeah,
girls?
how do we know he's messaging other girls?
Other girls are on TikTok live being like, Santos just messaged me to show
Oh,
up.
Lord.
And I'm like, I'm not going to show up. Yeah.
Wow.
But then later in the live stream, she says, it was honestly like a dream come true, you know? Like, even though we were just friends or whatever, he made it special. This is unfortunately the very grim beginning of the Santos saga. He will constantly be a reoccurring part of Ash Trevino's problematic world, and it's pretty obvious that he's just here for the fame, if you can even call it that, and the money. But that should not take away from how uncomfortable their relationship is. She will be live streaming Santos. They'll be doing the TikTok battles. She'll show him the haunted rose.
Look what I have charging.
Yeah, charging. Oh, you don't need that when you have me.
I need it for tonight, though.
Oh yeah, you're gonna definitely need that for tonight.
I don't have you tonight. All I have is the FaceTime.
Yeah. All you could use right now.
We're on live. We can't.
I know.
But then she starts biting her lips and looking weirdly at the camera, and some people believe that she's using it under the table. There are allegations that she has done this before, using her haunted rose to haunt the entire internet. Allegedly, there are 2 clips of her where she has gone on live. Once, she just flat out left the screen, and you can hear things that sound like her using the haunted rose and being haunted. Another time, allegedly, she pretends to forget that she's on live and starts using it. Now, these are things that I can very well see her do. However, I don't know, because there have been a lot of clips that have been taken out of context.
Fair
I can't
enough,
be 1,000%
but still.
sure on which the context is for these clips, if they've been edited or altered, but I don't think it would really change the implications of what is all of this is doing to her daughter's upbringing.
Pretty
But
much.
it is true. In one live where it's alleged that she was using the being haunted, she was playing the song How to Save a Life, the Where Did I Go Wrong? How to Save a Life by The Fray. And if this is not edited, it sounds like she is having fun to the beat of How to Save a Life, which netizens describe as, quote, diabolical. Then there is the infamous flashing live stream. She is live stream battling Santos, and for whatever reason, she decides that she is going to start rubbing her whole chest very seductively, or what I imagine she believes to be seductively, just fully rubbing like she's kneading dough, kneading a pizza dough, while staring into the camera, biting her lips, flaring her nostrils, her usual mating sign. She even tries licking her own chest, and she just does this for over a minute until fully her whole chest is out of her shirt on a TikTok live stream.
Wow.
She flashes a 19-year-old boy on a live stream.
19
Santos is 19 years old.
Oh
Ashley
my
is
God.
36 years old. She's flashing him while her kids and likely other kids online are watching.
She's double.
That's a hate crime.
Yes. People find out through Ashley's live streams that Santos is 19. He had claimed to everybody that he was 22. He works as a club promoter. And in most of Ashley's live streams, he's getting drunk. So everybody just assumed that he's at least 21, 22, because he does look very young, especially when next to Ashley. Not that 35 or 36 is old, but she looks much older than her age. The most popular netizen comment is, that is a harsh 35. Saying she aged pretty hard. Now, during a live stream, netizens that did some digging into Santos uncovered that he is not 22, that he's actually 19. They did some digging and they're like, wait, that guy is 19.
What's your age, Santos?
I'm 19. I could box him.
So the age finally comes out. He's 19.
And people are spamming in the live stream like, wait, we just discovered he's 19. He's not 22. He can't be a club promoter. He's not supposed to be drinking. He's 19. And he becomes super emotional about the situation because he feels like his whole life is ruined. He starts crying on the live stream, and Ashley is hugging him. This is the same woman that refuses to take her daughter to urgent care with a burn, who doesn't care that her daughter is throwing up or sick or anything. She's hugging him, and he just wants to be alone. And she's like, shh, no, it's okay, it's okay. She's doting on him, and he's just like, leave me the phone.
Stop. I got you. I told you that. I told you I got you. I got you. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Stop. I got you. Stop.
Girl.
She says in a live stream, I don't even want to talk about it because right now I don't even have my kids. Y'all can hear it's quiet. You know, coming home and like seeing this empty house, it's sad. You know, it brings me back to when I didn't have them. They were not taken from me because I know there's going to be rumors circulating. No, my kids are not taken from me. But she says that with all the backlash of everybody finding out and she finding out, she says she didn't know Santos was 19.
She did.
She is just in a bad place. And now everybody wants her kids taken away from her because Santos was provided alcohol because she assumed he was over 21. And all this drama is unfolding. And she's just very upset about it. The thing with Santos is he has allegations against him for SA. I don't know if any criminal charges were filed. It does not appear to be, but that doesn't really mean anything because a lot of the times they don't want to file criminal charges for SA, and I say they as in the police. But there are a lot of people who have said there are a lot of allegations out there. I just don't think anyone that is connected to Ashley, aside from her own children and maybe extended family members, are that good of people. I don't think you can be to some degree. Because a lot of people that knew her in the beginning, they just knew her as like a TikTok troll, like inmate hopper, hee hee ha ha. But once a lot of these allegations and the connections with these killers have come forward, a lot of TikTok creators have cut their ties with Ashley. So I think once you find out what she's done and to still be friendly with her is alarming.
It is.
There's a video of Ashley live streaming and they're in an Uber heading somewhere. She's in the, well, actually, it's not an Uber. Her security detail is driving. I don't know why she has security.
Security details?
Very much Jen Soto vibes. She says she needs security because anytime she goes out in public, she's just hounded and just constantly recognized. So her security is driving, and it's one of those 3-row SUVs. Security is in the very front, and in the middle seat, you have Ashley and her 2 friends. And in the very last row, behind Ashley, you have Santos and another girl who is also a TikTok streamer. While Ashley is live streaming, dancing to music, you see Santos in the back, and it looks like he's shoving the girl sitting next to him, shoving her head down in a way that would indicate that she is engaging in oral activities with him. She does not seem to be enjoying herself. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just trying to describe the video. It's not exactly certain what's happening there briefly. What? Some netizens thought that initially she was doing a line of drugs, but Santos, being the upstanding character that he is shoving her head down to make it appear like it's something that it's not. Regardless, Ashley notices and her whole energy shifts because she looks very upset when she starts putting 2 and 2 together. Again, a lot of netizens were freaking out because they didn't know what was taking place, but it's definitely not a great look. Netizens are very split on how to feel about this. Now, I end up finding clips, and there are, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have if you're really deep into the Ash Trevino lore like I am right now, and in that case, I'm sending you some luck. But I did find this one clip where it appears the girl in the back seat addresses the situation, as in she did engage in intimate relations in a car full of people.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real, I did do that. He deserved it. He was working hard. He was taking care of us. He was very nice to me. He was doing a lot of stuff for me. So I sure did. What about it? Y'all haven't?
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I looked at the camera after the fact. Honestly, I didn't even know she was like live. She basically blasted me.
Wasn't she always
did it
live?
on purpose. So she blames Ashley for putting this on live stream, but she does claim that this did take place. I will say that she is also a very questionable character. She was caught on her child's father's Ring camera, so her baby daddy's Ring camera, if you will, driving to his house with her newborn baby in the middle of the night, leaving the newborn baby in the car seat on the front porch, ringing the doorbell, and then booking it back to her car while giggling. She's like, hee hee, and then leaving. Like she's ding-dong ditching someone, but it's just abandoning her own child so that she can go party and do God knows what.
Okay.
He ends up posting that Ring footage.
These are crazy.
Yeah. Santos addresses the whole situation, and he has a completely different story. He says nothing happened in the backseat. She was just reaching over for her phone, and her mouth just happened to be open. Clearly, he thinks it's funny. Ashley then goes on to have a huge falling out with Santos briefly, where she claims he essayed her. She said, I'm getting everything together. I'm getting videos. I'm getting everything. I got text messages, everything. She says, I got bruises on my arm right now. I got bruises right there. I'm not under his spell no more. I'm not going to play anymore. I do believe that Ash Trevino can be a terrible person and can be essayed. I don't think that those two things are mutually exclusive, but I do think that in this situation, it's very hard to take the
You
allegations
believe her,
seriously,
yeah.
because she'll go and hop on a live stream with Santos after she makes these allegations, and she's like,
You said I essayed you?
You said that about me.
No, you said I essayed you.
You said that about me.
Did I essay you?
Answer this. You said that about me, yes or no? You said that about me on your live. That's all you said.
They continue to go back and forth before calming down and giggle-gaggling, because while Santos is arguing, he was in the midst of getting a tattoo, which Ashley jokes that he should get her name tattooed on him. And all is well in the morally bankrupt world that is Ash Trevino, until 20 hours later, Ashley starts getting emotional on live because Santos had texted her that he can't do this anymore, that the situation has just spiraled out of control. In any event, this sends Ashley into a full-blown orbit, and she goes onto a trip with a bunch of other TikTokers. One of the attendees is a 20-year-old woman who brings along her little brother. Now, this little brother becomes quite a controversy with Ashley.
This
Oh
is
boy.
never ending.
Yeah, there's pictures of them on this trip. It's so weird. It's like Ashley is their chaperone. But she's walking around the mall, and it's the way that she tries to act like she fits in with a bunch of teenagers when she's 36 and looks, I don't know, 46. No offense.
And they're all young
They're
TikTokers.
all young. In one moment on the live, she keeps trying to kiss him on the side of the face, which is very alarming. And even his older sister, Bree, is telling her, like, don't do this. Like, don't kiss my little baby brother. Like, you're too old for him. And then there's other parts of the night where she says that she wants to wear a dress for easy access, indicating that she wants Bree's little brother to have easy access to her. That's the problem, right? Some rumors were going around that he was 16. Which would be alarming, right? But he does go on live to further state that he's actually 18. I am inclined to believe that he's 18. It does appear that he's 18, but it's still crazy. Yeah. During the night, Ashley is live streaming alone with this guy. She's cuddling him. She's sitting right next to him. He's sitting there facing the camera, looking incredibly uncomfortable, and she's just resting her head on his shoulder. It's just so much is happening. So with her talking about being interested in a 9-year-old when she was 15, her talking about being interested in Santos, who is 19.
No wonder she likes criminal.
And then this
She's
situation
a predator.
is just starting to get weird. Even when she talks about her daughter, if she were to see an older man and lies about her age, she wouldn't call the police. All of this is starting to get very, very strange. I mean, she is, in my personal opinion, a predator, just like the ones that she's dated. So while all of this is going on, the netizens are reporting Ashley and her whole family to CPS, trying to get her children in a safe place away from Ashley. And she even admits it. Yes, I've had like 20 CPS cases. They dismissed them all. Because you know why? My kids are in good hands. My kids are taken care of. And she says, and the other day, I was laughing because whenever I was on live, well, before I went on live, I actually saw someone else on live. I'm not going to say who, but she was doing the same thing that I do. She was literally feeding her kids, and it's like what I do. And literally people in her comments were like, oh my God, she's such a good mom. You're such a good mom. You're like the best mom and this and that. And I'm like, bro, I do that same stuff with my kids.
No, you don't.
Literally bash me. Oh, you're a bad mom. Oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it like this? Why are you doing it that way? Why are you feeding them like that? My kids were older than hers, and y'all are like praising this female. It's because y'all don't like me, but y'all like her, and that's what it is. That is what it is. In Ash Trevino's world, it is always the viewer's fault, all of this. In another live stream clip, she says, I don't even have my kids right now. So her kids are constantly wanting to stay with her parents, going to their grandparents' home. So they're either with their grandparents, it seems like they're there most of the time, and then Ashley will have them sometimes. And she says, I don't even have my kids right now, and it sucks, and it's because of y'all. I don't have my kids because of y'all. So yeah, they can come back anytime they want, but I just choose not to have them because of y'all. She also cries on live stream because one of her top gifters went over to her ex-best friend Heffa's live stream and donated money, and she's sobbing. She's genuinely sobbing.
I'm sorry, guys. I had to end that live. She stole one of my biggest gifters, bro, and I don't think that's right.
What am I watching?
As a friend, you should never steal your friend's gifters.
Not when her kid needs to go to the hospital or is throwing up or has a burn, she's crying. She's crying more than when she cried about her late husband, her ex-husband dying.
Who are these donors? Like, who's donating? Who's her top donor?
A lot of people have questions about that. Who are these people?
Right?
We don't know. And I feel like there are a lot of causes out there that they could be donating to that don't include Ashley Trevino.
Huh.
Yeah, she's crying that her top gifter, she says, my friend Heffa, because she's the one that got the money.
She has money. Her husband has a trucking company. I have nothing but this. If I don't make money on TikTok, I make nothing for my kids and they can't eat. Okay?
She's wiping tears from her eyes. She stole one of my biggest gifters, bro. And I don't think that's right. This is how I support my kids. I don't have their dad's child support no more. He passed away. Do you think that I asked God to take their dad from them? No, I didn't. Do you think I said, God, please take their dad? No, but he died. Her daughter then comes into the room to tell her, I love you, but you need to quit saying stuff about my dad, okay? She also states that she just started her partying life. She says that everyone is accusing her of being a partier, and she says no. Before this, she was a mom and a wife. She just started partying like just 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Just 5 years ago. All of this comes to a tumultuous boil when Ashley Trevino decides to take her kids onto her very first podcast appearance. She is going to the Bop House, which is a content house for OF creators based in Miami.
What?
And Camille is going to interview them. She's a famous OF creator who also has her own controversies. She's the one that was viral for having her brother on the podcast and asking him about what it's like to have a sister who's on OF.
Christian, tell him that it's not that bad having a sister that does.
Oh, it's horrible. No, I couldn't even go on a field trip. Like, I got bullied so much, I couldn't even go on a field trip. Isn't that insane?
Oh, that's so sad. What the fuck? Oh my god. Why are these people so... Oh boy. Oh.
And it was just a very, a lot of netizens felt bad for the brother, I guess.
Bro?
I don't know too much about Camille's lore, but Camille does not ease up on Ashley. She asks them, do you think TikTok changed y'all's life for the better or for the worse? Ashley responds,
I can honestly say I've been blessed by TikTok because not only do I get paid with the battles, I get paid with the views. But if I could go back to my life before, where nobody knew who I was, I liked it. I only had like 50 to like 100 views in my lives. And now there's like thousands of people that watch me.
So keep the money, take away the fame.
Literally.
Yo, just unfollow Ash Trevino.
Literally.
Make her not popular at all.
Literally.
She hates it.
Cancel me. Y'all want to cancel me.
Ashley's daughter responds, I feel like I would rather go back to my old life. Yeah, like we have money, but I don't like being online publicly. I'm growing up. That's why I'm homeschooled too. In the beginning at school, people noticed my mom and I got a lot of stares in the cafeteria. So if I could, I honestly would go back to my old life because being a nobody to people, because that's when I was more confident. I didn't care how I looked. And now since I'm public, I care more about how I look and how I go out and stuff. In Camille's podcast, she says, so I always try to tell everybody that I'm always going to be the villain in their book. This is Ashley. She's saying, I'm always going to be the villain in everybody's book. She says, they've already got this persona that they have of me, and that's just who I am to them. I raised my kids since they were born. This is a lie. She said in other live streams that her parents mainly watched her kids. She says, I've never left their side. Still to this day, I have never left their side. She claims on the podcast that after the father of her children has passed away in 2023, she accuses his family of coming out online to, quote, get clout. Yeah.
What?
She says that his
How
family
dare
has
she
tried to
say
get
that?
clout by bad-mouthing her on the internet. And it doesn't seem that way. It seems like they're just trying to get closure. And like, what are you doing? Stop talking about the girl's father. Like, you don't even, why are you doing this? Like, this is so messy. But she says, as soon as my name started going across the internet, they started coming out with certain stories. Oh, I'm the kid's dad's friend. I'm the cousin. I'm the aunt, whatever. Now they're trying to get the followers. They're trying to get this. They're trying to get that. But in reality, they weren't there for my kids like they should have been. Camille asks have there been instances where your mother has expressed feelings of jealousy towards you, and how has that affected your relationship with her? Her eldest daughter, H, responds, there's this video going around of my mom being jealous of me when I was little for having a better relationship with my dad than she did. And it just looks like Ashley is staring her child down while she's talking, where Camilla has to be like the one to remind her, I mean, girl, that's his kid. That's his whole kid, not you being jealous of a baby girl. Like there's nothing to be jealous of? Meanwhile, Ashley is biting the inside of her cheek, staring her daughter down. Her daughter continues, I mean, I am her daughter. They say I look like her, so there's nothing much different from us. I have more followers than her, so maybe that. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Which Ashley then takes the mic to do her mom's speech, and it's something that she consistently does. I would like to say that Ashley is one of those people that is not a mom. She's not a good mom. Personally, that's my opinion, but she loves the idea of being a mom. She loves embodying the trauma and obstacles of being a mother and motherhood.
Right.
She responds, I'm not jealous of her. I'm blessed to be able to give her the life that I've always wanted as a little girl. It just doesn't make sense. Even the romantic values that she's teaching her children. In the podcast, they briefly talk about Ashley's newest fling, a man named Max, one of her new boyfriends. And E, the younger daughter, mentions, oh yeah, Max is nice. I like him for now. He seems polite. So Camilla is asking, why is he polite? Like, why do you like him? And E explains that one time Max was calling her mom's phone. E picks up her mom's phone and tells him, hey, my mom's in the other room. And he just tells E, oh, well, could you have her call me back when she gets back in the room? And Camilla's so confused, like, that's it? That's the story? Just basic manners? What do you mean that's why you like him? And then Ashley explains previously Jesse, the one that, the prison boyfriend that she picked up from jail, had called Ashley before. E had picked up and he flips out on Ashley, screaming at her, don't let your kids pick up the phone next time. He did not want to interact with the kids, which why would you stay with someone like that? Side note, later Ash Trevino goes on to live to say that I just found out today that Max goes both ways. So it's like, bro. And she has this look that indicates yikes.
Like, I just found out today that Max goes both ways. Like, yeah. So it's like, bro.
First of all, I don't know how true that information is considering the source is Ash Trevino, but even if it is true, why is she grossed out? Being bisexual is normal. Being a heinous, neglectful mother is despicable. What kind of sick, twisted values are these? But Ashley states that she and Max are going to get married, because I guess this is before she let her homophobia run through, and that he has not in fact smelt her Noo-Noo because he is a Christian who is saving himself till marriage.
Which
all
jealousy?
Netizens and Camilla are questioning. This is not that that's abnormal or not okay, but it just sounds like an excuse, and perhaps he's using her for money and clout. Because if he is a devout Christian, devout enough to abstain from premarital relations, why would he be interested in Ashley?
Oh, he's in prison too, or?
No.
Oh.
He's not?
And the podcast just goes through a lot of Ashley's wild moments. Like, for example, Ashley just has some bizarre live stream moments. There are moments where she'll pull up a video of herself crying to sad TikTok sounds, and she proudly shows it in the live stream. Like, yeah, I was in pain. And people are so confused. They say, they're commenting, netizens are commenting, looks 45, acts 15. Not the 2020 depressing TikTok audios in the big 2025. I'm sorry, is sadness in the room with us? She also has a very unique way of flirting, like I said, that is constantly brought up and clipped and is viral all over TikTok. She also loves listening to sad songs. She'll stare off into the distance while playing Spotify and sad songs, trying to be the main character. Things that I did when I was 9 in the car while my mom was driving me to Barnes and Nobles. That's what she's doing at 36 years old on a TikTok live stream. She's sitting there listening to the song Get You the Moon. You know the song that's like, 'cause you are the reason I'm still hanging on. And it's like, if death was coming for you, I'd give my life for you. And the comments read, and who set this up? This music, I am dead. She's also accused of sending herself flowers while on live. Yeah, she just acts so surprised that she got these flowers from an anonymous suitor of hers, and netizens are commenting, "This is me sending myself candy Valentine's Day grams in middle school." Another comment reads, "Because she gets a little teddy bear with the flowers. The bear is even looking at us like, this is a lie." Yeah. Ashley also used to work at a dentist's office up until December of 2024. People didn't know that. People thought that she was a full-time TikToker for the longest time because she was talking about how she worked at a dentist's office. The practice was sold to new management that was going to come in, and some of the new managers were Indian American.
He gave us an option to stay with the new owners or leave. And I chose to leave because they were Indians.
What the?
And I'm not working under no Indians. I'm sorry, I'm just not.
What does that even mean?
She was racist. She literally,
Pick a struggle.
she was teaching her daughter slurs for all the races and ethnicities. It was really bad. Yeah.
You can't really find one good thing about this person.
No. But it's not true. She did not quit. Not that it makes her statement less racist, more acceptable, less deplorable, nothing. She actually continued working at the dentist's office until December of 2024. She was fired because netizens pulled clips of her doing, I don't know, any one of her heinous things and sent it to her bosses. She was let go. There are allegations that she has bed bugs. She's in bed live streaming one day and a bug just crawls around her on the pillow, inside the pillowcase.
Wait.
It's a roach or a bed bug, but it is clear that Ashley notices and she tries to get up. She acts super nonchalant about it instead of freaking out or even addressing it. Later, she's asked if she has bed bugs, and she says on the podcast, no, it was like a beetle or something. Again, what these people need to realize is I do live in a duplex. I have neighbors. So with that, whatever they have, it does transfer over. But I don't have like roaches or anything. No. She's asked, could there be potential bed bugs? No, I haven't found any. That was a beetle. But of course, people take one little thing, let it be a flea on your leg, and they're going to say it's something else. And again, that's why I'm moving. Because my landlord, I feel like for what I pay for there, I can literally find a place, a house somewhere. I want a 4-bedroom and 2.5 bath. I already have my mindset on what I want. Netizens disagree. They argue it does not look like a beetle. Not even remotely.
Really does. It really looks like a bed bug.
Or freaking out, because if you have the occasional bug, you start screaming and freaking out. But the fact that she just hides the bug from the camera and tries to play it off is very strange. In the interview with Camilla, as a joke, asks her if she's ever had a fake bag because there were rumors that her LV bags were fake. Ashley seems genuinely irked, and she says,
They literally think my Louis are fake. I can pull up the receipt right now if you want to see it. I can log into my Louis account right now.
Oh, she got an account.
I got a YSL account, Gucci, and Louis.
She also talks about how at their age, she, Ashley, did not have a Gucci bag like her daughters. So she bought them a Gucci bag for hitting, I believe, 1 million followers.
You know what? I might have not had a Gucci bag, but I had their dad, okay?
I think she's trying to say she didn't need a Gucci bag because she was in love and in a happy relationship. But that's really weird because why are you comparing that with your daughters? But it also feels so wrong because he recently passed away and the girls are clearly still grieving. It's a really bizarre thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, they repeatedly ask her to shut the fuck up about it.
Are not allowed to come over anymore. This is in the podcast. She says because, quote, their parents don't feel comfortable because my address is leaked.
Girl!
You feel comfortable with your kids being there. Camilla asks Ashley straight up, so you don't feel any sort of guilt or sadness that they've lost friends because of it and they've expressed that? No, because it's not even for that reason, to be honest. I feel like some of their friends are jealous because of the life that they have. Camilla asks Ashley's children, do you think that maybe sometimes she can exploit situations to get views? I'm gonna be real, yeah. Ashley disagrees. She says if anything, she wants to protect her kids.
Doesn't look like it.
He brings up the time that Ashley asked for Galaxy donations if they want to know about her health conditions, and Ashley says, oh yeah, but that was like a while back though, and you weren't even in the hospital. E also goes on to state, quote, honestly, sometimes I feel like it's weird for girls to go for younger guys, but like it's weird for my mom. She's 36 and she gets with people in their teens. Santos, he actually lied about his age. He said he was 22, but he's actually 19. Eventually, Camille sends the kids out of the room so that she can talk to Ashley alone. And she says, Santos was caught licking your haunted rose on live. What the f*** are you doing with that?
It's your rose toy. Why did you do that?
Because Santos is a freak.
Santos sleeps with everybody.
Did he sleep with you?
Am I supposed to answer that
Yes.
truthfully?
Yes.
Truthfully.
Yes. Did Santos sleep with you? Did you sleep with Santos, actually?
So, yes, we have done stuff.
Okay.
Twice.
Twice.
2 separate occasions.
With a 19-year-old boy.
I didn't know he was 19 at the time.
So this is before you knew?
Yes.
Claimed before you knew.
Literally. Like, we did it twice, and it was literally before Christmas, so.
Side note, Santos addresses these allegations of being intimate with Ashley in a separate live, and he says, I never hit the Noo-Noo. Ever, ever, ever. We said, I want Noo-Noo. We made that word up joking around. I never did that. Like, you have to understand. I walked into her room one time and the bean dip was right next to the Rose toy. So I'm assuming she eats while she plays. And I don't like that. That's nasty. Like, bro. Like, every time I had to Febreze everywhere, I had to shove toilet paper in my nose. I would never, ever, ever get near that Noo-Noo ever. And that's on arrogant. He says that.
That is crazy.
That's his whole spiel. So Camille starts firing off the tough questions. If TikTok banned you tomorrow, how would you make money? What's your plan B? I have other socials that I'm working on right now, and I have other collabs coming up. Okay, care to leak the collab that you have coming up? A good one. It's a YouTube video, so just know that there's going to be like 20 guys.
What?
No other crazy revelations happen in the podcast. It's just a mess. At one point, Camille, after H, talks about how she doesn't like her mom's newest prison husband that she's actually divorcing, Trevino. Camille says, y'all, to the girls, y'all just come live with us. Which H says, yes, please. But Ashley starts joking, well, now you have 2 new members. Ashley might have just been saying this without realizing the implication, but it's pretty bad. Camille is part of the Bop House, which, like I said, is a group of OF models that live in a house together to film content, 18-plus content. So Camille saying, come live with us, sounds very much like, I think we can take care of you better than your mom can.
Yeah, I don't think she was saying that to be sexual.
Meanwhile, Ashley says, you have 2 new members, implies that they would be members of the Bop House, which is a content house for explicit creators, and it freaks Camille out. Like, she doesn't even know what to say. She's like, what did this lady just say? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, they have 2 new members.
And probably the most explosive question in the entirety of the podcast is when Camille asks, question, do the kids have beds? H responds, well, I don't live with my mom. At your mom's house then, do you have a bed? No. I'm going to zail you. I'm going to give you money. I want a bed, 2 mattresses, 2 of them. I want a headboard and 2 nightstands. I'm going to order that before you leave this house today. And I'm going to insert the clip of the receipt here. And Ashley is explaining there's a whole story behind that. She's trying to explain that her mom was going to go get the bed, but they didn't know the style of the bed. And she couldn't go out in public. And Camilla's like, oh, because you're just that bitch. And she's like, literally, no, like, I really don't. Like, if I go out, I'm going to get noticed. And if I don't have my security guard, I'm not going anywhere. Later in the episode, Ashley still brags about how much money she makes, and she starts giggling, and Camilla says, and her kids still don't have a bed, so what's so funny, Ashley? She laughs even louder, and she's like, nothing's that funny when your kids don't have a damn bed, I'll tell you that right now. Now, this podcast gets released, and within a few days, I think it's at like 7-8 million views.
Oh, Lord.
Ashley is pretty upset about this podcast. She alleges that Camille received like $60,000 for this podcast. I'm not sure where that allegation is coming from. I didn't see any embedded endorsements or anything of that sort. I don't know if she's implying that she made $60,000 off of ad revenue, which is kind of crazy. But she said that she
good for her.
If she had known that Camille was going to name the podcast the worst mom on TikTok, she would have never sat down for the podcast. She says, because I'm not the world's worst mom. And I'm telling you, like, there were times during that podcast that I wanted to quit doing it because it got so hard on me, and I didn't. I just said, you know what? You got to swallow it. You got to say what you got to say, so I did. There were questions asked that I didn't feel comfortable with, but I still answered it. And like I told her, and I didn't put it in the podcast, but I'm always going to be the villain in everybody's story. I could sit here and go to church every day, every Sunday, give my life to God 100%, and you will still see me the same way you see me right now. A bad mom, alcoholic, whatever you want to call me, fat, ugly, whatever. Y'all are still going to see me in that way, even if I change my life. And if you don't like me for who I am, then I can't change that about you because I probably don't like you anyways.
Okay.
She's very upset with Camille, but also with her viewers. She says,
so for those of y'all that call CPS on me, remember, she's not in my custody right now. Why do you think she doesn't live with me right now? Y'all are going to get my parents in trouble. So when y'all want to call CPS, y'all think about that. It's not me getting in trouble. It's my parents. Do y'all think I only fight battles on TikTok? I fight them personally every day. As much as it hurts me because I wish my baby lived with me. It's just
You don't deserve your baby.
And that's our decision. Okay?
Not the sad song in behind.
She
Oh
also
my God.
says, and the irony just whooshes straight over her head. She says, but again, Camille and the Bop House, they do stuff for views. You got to remember that. She's an influencer. She does stuff for the views because she gets paid off the views. She also says that she should have asked Camille for payment had she known that she was going to get that deep into it. It appears that the podcast made the girls very upset with their mother, to which she goes on live to talk about it. Ashley has sad music playing in the background and says,
no one said it would ever be easy being a mom. Right now is the time I wish their dad was alive. And I know she acts out because he's not here no more and she hasn't coped with her dad gone. So I know it still hurts her because she cried for him last night. My mom told me. She didn't get to tell him bye. He passed away when she wasn't there.
Girl, they asked you repeatedly to stop talking about him.
And blocking her on TikTok is because they're upset that their father passed away, so they're acting out in general. And it has nothing to do with her being a mom. There is some back and forth between Ashley and Camille, which I don't think is significant compared to all of the types of people that Ashley has been dating. And I think the Ashley lore could go on for 4 more episodes, but I won't subject you to that. But there has been back and forth of Camille not purchasing beds for the kids yet. Ashley claims Camille is a liar. She's not purchasing the beds. Camille is claiming, I told you to send me the beds and you haven't sent me the ones that they wanted. So like, what do you want me to do? Camille also states that Ashley requested to stay a night longer and charged over $1,000 at the Ritz-Carlton to Camille's credit card. Ashley says, no, I have the credit card statements. It charged my card. And then Camille is saying, because I told you I would pay you back. Like, I'm not going to give you my credit card, so I'm reimbursing you. It's the whole thing. Most netizens are supporting Camille. Others think that Camille should not have invited Ashley's daughters to the infamous Bop House, a house known to be a place where OF creators collaborate and make content. Some netizens comment, Camille needs to take responsibility. She is the one that invited the minors to the Bop House just to humiliate their situation more and bring up old wounds. I would be uncomfortable too. Others bring up Camille's past podcast with her brother, saying she's not that great of a person either, but I don't really know.
I mean,
another one reads, Camille humiliated all of them. She may have said all those things just to get back at Ash, but those kids didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
So netizens are just kind of confused on how bad of a mom can still have a platform and keep making more accounts, and more than that, still have people donating.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
That really doesn't. But I think, I mean, it's like those fucking disgusting streamers. Like, they're disgusting, but they have, like, the hate watching is a thing. So I'm not surprised if people are hate watching the bitch and giving money just so that they can stay entertained of her stupidity. That's how the world works. It's crazy.
I feel like this is like a new age now, you know? Like someone can actually air out all of these laundries 24/7, and you can peek into someone's life like this and just like, oh my God, this is actually happening.
It's terrifying.
Yeah,
these TikTok live streams are so scary. And people are saying that it might, I will say that a lot of people are treating the situation as
hey, Cleo.
Lol cow internet situation thing, to the point where when I briefly heard about some of the things Ashley Trevino did, I thought it was going to be on our Mott's channel, because it seemed like people were just making fun of her making rap songs like My Noo-Noo, Does It Stink, Does It Smell, stuff like that. But it's really serious. And one comment that highlights that is, all the CPS cases for Gabriel Fernandez were closed.
Yo.
Let that sink in.
Yo.
That means absolutely nothing.
It really doesn't.
The horror stories these girls have since they were little. And with that, that is today's episode. What are your thoughts on Ash Trevino? I know
that Gabriel Fernandez case traumatized me and made me cry.
Because she's on live practically every day, and she's probably on live right now. But what are your thoughts? What do you think should happen to her? Let me know in the comments.
Kids.
Stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.
That's enough. I'm gonna go eat my pizza, and I'm gonna come back later to play Marvel Rival. So I'll see you later, probably. And I still don't know how to pronounce your name. You're gonna have to tell me that. Or repeat it if you already said. But alas, I need to eat something. What time is it? It's